Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rouse Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League, and to our good friend Brandon Jensen, who has beat everybody to the punch to get the front row seat. Tonight, we're going to be bringing you Tokyo Yakult Swallows and the Chunichi Dragons exhibition baseball from the NPB, and it is going to be a bit of a break on the in-between before we get back to the World Baseball Classic matchups. We'll be flipping ourselves back into the other part of the time zones. And so we'll be carrying more of those games a little later in the week. Hopefully you guys can make it in and join it with us. I'm going to give the starting lineups, first of all, for the visitors, the Yakult Swallows. Leading off tonight and in right field is number 63, Shu Masuda. Batting second at shortstop is number 67, Ryui Ito. Batting third and doing the catching, number 2, Yudai Koga. And the cleanup spot and playing first base, number 13, Jose Osuna. Batting fifth in the left field is number 25, Domingo Santana. Hitting sixth at second base, wearing 00, is Yoshihiro Akahane. Batting in the seventh spot and playing third base is number 50, Kaigo Kitamura. Hitting eighth and doing the designated hitting is Kiyo Suzuki. He wears 65. Batting ninth in center field, number 64, Yukihiro Iwata. And they are going to be facing... It will be Mizuki Miura who takes to the hill for the Dragons in this one tonight. Now your starting lineup for the home team, the Chunichi Dragons. Leading off and in center field wearing number 1 is Yuki Okabayashi. Hitting second at second base is number 2, Mikiya Tanaka. Batting third in right field is number 51, Seiji Ubiyashi. Hitting fourth and in left field tonight is number 55, Seo Hosokawa. Batting in the fifth spot and playing first base is number 23, Miguel Sano. Batting in the sixth spot and at third base is number 7, Hiroki Fukunaga. Batting in the seventh spot and doing the designated hitting is number 48, Toshiki Abe. Batting eighth at shortstop is number 60, Yasuhiro Yamamoto. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 43, Taisi Miya. And they are going to be facing Kengo Matsumoto, who will take to the hill tonight for the Swallows in this one. Well, everybody, it is Japanese baseball. We'll be back in just a couple of moments as first pitch is just around the corner. Hopefully you guys can stay with us, put the coffee on, and listen in for all the action here tonight. We'll be back in just a couple of moments right after this. Everybody, it is going to be the Swallows to come to bat here in their half of inning number 1 to get things going. As we mentioned, it is a sparse crowd at the Vantolin Dome, and we expect to be a sparse crowd in our house here tonight, as it is exhibition baseball between two teams. One who I think will be the bottom feeder of the Central League this year, that would be in the Yakult Swallows. And the other one is the Dragons, who are poised almost to get back into the playoffs. I think that outside of the Hanshin Tigers, Yokohama has decided to retool its squad. The Dragons have a chance. The Carp have a chance. Everybody's got a chance except for the Swallows to get those 2 and 3 spots. Maybe even the Giants are probably better suited than most to be in that top 2 position. So maybe it's really only a 3-horse race for the third going into the season. It'll be Masuda, Ito, and Koga to come to bat here against the lefty Mira, who's just completed his tune-up tosses. We're ready to get this one underway. So Mira getting to the hill. We saw him in the warm-up to the World Baseball Classic against Samurai Japan. The lefty rocking himself into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Masuda. Masuda getting the start in right field here tonight, batting from the right side against the lefty Mira, who rocks into the windup and delivers. Breaking ball misses down and in. The count goes to 1-1. I would say that the capacity for tonight's crowd, with the early thoughts, would be around 50 to 60% full. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count now goes to 2-1, which by exhibition standards is not a bad draw, to be honest. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the lefty again rocks into the windup, kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on it, is chopped just foul past the bag at third. As the third baseman for the Dragons, Fukunaga, had fielded the ball in foul territory, and it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Masuda. Fairly easy call there for the third base umpire. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as the lefty Mira gets the sign from his catcher Mia as he rocks into the windup and delivers. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count runs even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swallows in their dark tops with the white pants, Dragons in the traditional all white. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count runs to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Masuda. Lefty Mira ready to go again as he's getting the sign from his catcher, Mia. And then he steps off, and now he's going to go through it again. And now he rocks into the windup, and he kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is hammered foul just down the left field line. The battle will continue here against Masuda. Already 7 pitches in this at-bat. And for those of you who are new to our channel, and whether you listen live or on delay, it is the NPB that we like to watch and we like to do. So late night, don't forget to bookmark the channel as needed. This was a little bit of a late offering here, as there's a fastball that misses down and in, and it's going to be ball 4 as Masuda has earned himself an 8-pitch walk. He heads down to first base, and it'll bring up Ryuhei Ito to the plate. I wasn't sure that we were going to do a game tonight, and we looked at the calendar, looked at the schedule, and it didn't really match up for anything that we could do in the Classic, so we are going to do this one here, and we may follow suit with it again tomorrow night, as the same two teams will go head-to-head. Demon Slayer in the house. He says, your preseason pick for NPB champ. Welcome, Demon Slayer. Great to have you back for 2026 baseball. As the lefty flips over to first base and diving back easily is the runner Masuda. Well, I'll give you my picks for the leagues. I think the Hanshin Tigers are going to win again in the Central League. I think they will take the title and potentially punch their ticket all the way to the Japan Series. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Ito. In the Pacific League, I think we are due for a changing of the guard. And what I mean by that is I do believe that we are going to see the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters that are finally going to get a breakthrough. They have to beat the Hawks. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 1-1 on Ito. I've been saying this for a little bit, and I mean, last year I think the Hawks, it's going to be not their swan song, but I think they're going to have to retool a little bit, get a little bit younger in some cases. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. So with that in mind, you've got the Fighters in the Pacific and the Tigers in the Central, and I would be putting my money on the Tigers to win it, because Fighters, sometimes you got to lose before you win. I think they are going to get through the Hawks, but I just don't think they're going to get through the Tigers. There's a fastball that misses inside. Count now goes to 2-2 on Ito. The lefty Mira has not particularly been sharp here. 8 pitches to walk the first batter, and he's working here to Ito, and he's having a little difficulty with the command of his pitches. 2-2 pitch, instead he throws to first, and diving back is Masuda. My Cool Hooks is in the house, and we're glad you could make it in here as well. Late night call. Wasn't sure I was going to do this one or not. I certainly want to stay away from the other one. Michael Hooks asks, should I do the under? Yeah, I would think. Well, first of all, I don't know what the over-under is. As far as Demon Slayer says, the Swallows fell off after their series run a couple of years ago, which was kind of amazing because both they and the Buffaloes had finished last the year before. There was a fastball swung on it, is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. It was a hit and run. Rounding second and heading to third is Masuda. And the Swallows have got something going here in the first inning as they've got runners on the corners with nobody out, and that's going to bring Yudai Koga to the plate. Our friend My Cool Hooks says the over-under is 7.5. My only challenge on the exhibition games is that I don't know what the pathway for some of these pitchers are. The starters are going to be pulled early because they won't run them as far as they normally do. Some of these guys will only haven't been stretched out yet, maybe only 3 or 4 innings, maybe 5, depending on the number of pitches. So you get into the bullpens, and that becomes the particular challenge. So Koga to the batter, the runner at third, Masuda, runner at first is Ito. Nobody gone here in the top of the first. Swallows already threatening as Mira holds to the set. Pitch on the way. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is 0-1. And My Cool Hook says that the Swallows are threatening off the rip. Yeah, absolutely. And as I had mentioned before, even in the World Baseball Classic and some of these things, it usually takes a starting pitcher sometimes an inning or so to get the feel of the mound once they come in. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. You got to get to the starter in the first inning, and if you can't get to them in the first inning, they can get tough. They get their release point, they get the feel for the mound, they settle in, and then it becomes a long, tough night. Well, if you can't get the feel in the first inning, then you got problems. But usually that is the case for starters. It usually takes them an inning or so to get going, and then they get tough. So no balls and 2 strikes it is here to Koga as he's hitting from the right side. Lefty Mira works himself to the belt, checks the runner over at first. And here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, and a bit of a defensive swing there by Koga as he smacks that foul past the first base coach's box, and the count now is no balls, 2 strikes. Our friend Demon Slayer says the San Francisco Giants have 0 chance in the National League West. It's going to be a long, tough year in Frisco. Yeah, our good friend Demon Slayer likes to call the Bay Area his home. As the 0-2 pitch is on the way. Thank goodness for the 49ers. Breaking ball swung on. It's grounded through the 6-hole into left field, and the Swallows have got their first run of the ball game. Koga with an RBI single. That is going to cash in Masuda. It advances Ito over to second. And we have an early 1-0 lead here for the Tokyo Baseball Club, and that's going to bring Jose Osuna to the plate. Well, I have to say, I don't think the Giants are going to be weak, but they're definitely not in the category of the Dodgers and may not even be in the category of the Padres. But I do think that San Francisco does have a chance at the third or second wild card spot. But I don't know if they've got a lot of that other stuff to be able to go. Our friend Brandon says, how about the massive roster cuts the Dodger made? I haven't actually looked at that. I did hear that manager Dave Roberts feels that Santiago Espinal will probably make the team out of spring training as they throw over to second base, and getting back to the bag is Ito. So runners at first and second, pitch on the way. Breaking ball, that messes up, and the count now goes to 1-0. Demon Slayer says the Phillies are not overrated. I would agree with that, but I would also say the addition of Adolis Garcia basically replacing Max Kepler was a huge move. I'm not sure with Castellanos out of there, that probably helps in terms of some of the off-field shenanigans he brought in. There's a fastball missing up and away, and the count is 2-0. But I would also say this, that the window is probably closing on the Phillies here. They've got to do something in the next 12 to 24 months. If not, it is maybe time to retool that group completely. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 3-0 on Osuna. And there's danger on deck as Domingo Santana is looming. As the lefty Mira getting himself into some serious trouble here. The pitch on the way. There's a fastball. Catches the outside corner. Oh, Osuna didn't like it. He does a 180. He's not very happy with that. It's actually 2 balls and 2 strikes. I thought it was 3 balls, but it was a slow hand of the umpire. And the reaction of Osuna on the last pitch, maybe that gave it away. 2 balls, 2 strikes it is here. I jumped the gun because I was figuring it was definitely a ball, and so did Osuna. As the 2-2 pitch is ready to go, there's a fastball that just misses low. Now it's full. Andrea and how some important Swallows players are playing in the World Baseball Classic. Well, certainly their catcher is playing in the Classic for Samurai Japan. But so too are some of the Dragons' arms. As the 3-2 pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on, and it's hammered foul over on the first base side. Count remains at 3-2 to Osuna. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lefty Mira gets a new baseball. He rubs it up. 23 pitches so far. Hasn't been able to record an out yet. Runners at first and second. Here comes the 3-2 offering to Osuna. As the lefty checks the runner and delivers, there's a fastball swung on over to third. They go to second for 1, back to first. That's going to be a 5-4-3 double play. As Osuna is going to be retired. As is Koga over at second base on the double play. Ito advances over to third. Now we've got 2 gone here. It's going to bring up the left fielder and Domingo Santana. So a ground ball double play that was induced here by Mira. He sure needed that. That is for certain. As batting from the right side here, Santana, 33 years old, really has found a home with the Swallows. One-time 30 home run hitter in the big leagues, takes a fastball inside for ball, and the count is 1-0. Just a couple, not all that long, a couple seasons ago, he was battling it out for the Triple Crown, which was home runs, RBIs, and batting average in the NPB Central League. As the pitch on the way. Fastball misses up and in, and the count goes to 2-0 on Santana. It is Ekahani who is waiting his turn on deck. Should Santana be able to extend the inning? So here comes the 2-0 pitch. Lefty delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and this is going to be lifted foul into the seats down the right field line. And the count remains at 2-1. The 1-2 punch that the San Francisco Giants have, as we're talking a little bit off, we're talking baseball, but we're a little off topic because we're talking Major League Baseball. Logan Webb and Robbie Ray, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch. The question is what are going to be 3, 4, and 5 going to look like this year? There's a breaking ball that just misses low. Count goes to 3-1 on Santana. And the Giant bullpen will be solid. It retooled over there. They brought in a few different arms. I'll have to wait and see how that is going to shape up. There's a fastball swung on. Is grounded over to second. Fielding it more toward the middle of the park is Tanaka. He throws to first. Santana's gone. It's a ground out 4-3. And the Dragons were able to wiggle themselves out of a really tough situation. A walk, a couple of singles, brought in a run, and then it was a double play ball and a ground out, and The pitcher Mira able to get out of it here. 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We're through a half inning. It is the Swallows 1 and the Dragons no score. Stick around, everybody. The Vantolin Dome is about 50% full at best, and we'll be here to bring you all the action in just a couple of moments after this timeout. Our good friend Steve Rademacher is going to keep you entertained through the night. We're waiting on something from Brandon Jensen to be sent our way, but this is Steve, and we'll be back in a few with all the action.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order to come to bat here for the Dragons in inning number 1. That'll be Yuki Okabayashi, Mikiya Tanaka, and Seiji Ubiyashi, the 1-2-3 hitters, to face Kengo Matsumoto. They are using a DH in the ball game tonight. And for those of you who aren't aware, starting in 2027, the Central League is going to be going to the DH. So this is the last year, 2026, that the pitchers will be hitting. But they are using the DH in the exhibition for this one here. Well, the starter Matsumoto has just completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action. Swallows with a early 1-0 lead here over the Chunichi Dragons. I honestly don't think that the Dragons are going to be as bad as we've seen in recent years. Our friend Samurai Prayer in the house. Peace and blessings to you from Osaka. Hey, thank you for stopping in tonight. I got a customer of mine who is on their way to Japan, and I was giving them tips. They're going to try to get to see the Tigers and the Buffaloes next weekend. Fastball swung on, and it has popped up over on the third base side, giving chase over by the dugout, and making the catch is the third baseman Kitamura. And that is going to retire the leadoff hitter Okabayashi for the first out of the inning. So 1 quick out. That is going to bring up the second baseman in Mikiya Tanaka. The 25-year-old Tanaka stepping up to the dish. Always great to have the folks from Japan who like to pop in and listen from time to time. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Tanaka. I haven't quite decided. I'm contemplating getting back to Japan for 27. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. This year, it is going to be Taiwan in August and China in December for me. As the pitch is ready to go again. And the breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Matsumoto, it's a new baseball. He rubs it up. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Tanaka. Right-hander against the right-hander as he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. There were other games in the NPB tonight, and everything else is a final. It was the Oryx Buffaloes knocking off the Chibalote Marines 4-1. try to bring you all the scores on the in-between here. And by the looks of it, I have to go back and look, but I think it was Sean Hajeli getting the victory tonight for the Buffaloes. Speaking of San Francisco Giants, or former Giants, here's the 2-2 pitch. That is a breaking ball, swung on and missed. It's dropped by the catcher, Koga. They throw to first, and that is going to retire Tanaka. It's going to be a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout. So Tanaka gone for out number 2, and that is going to bring up the right fielder in Seiji Ubiyashi. Our friend Samurai Prayer says, great listening practice, and I speak clearly. Well, thank you very kindly for that, and glad you could be in here with us. We have all kinds of listeners from all over the world that pop in. As the first pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1 to Ubiyashi. One of our friends from France, undrafted player, checks in from time to time. It's the same thing. He talks about getting a chance to listen to the English, especially if you can parlay it to the game. Breaking ball misses outside. The count is 1-1. For those of you who are looking for the game tonight, in Asia, DAZN will be picking up the feed of the game, as well as J Sport. So either one, I'm not sure. I think it's J Sport 2 has it. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on it, is lifted down the third base line in foul territory, racing and making an over-the-shoulder catch is the third baseman, Kitamura, and that is going to do it as Ubiyashi's gone for the third out of the inning. So the Dragons, they go quietly in their half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. We are now through one complete. Your score is the Swallows 1 and the Dragons no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments right after this timeout. Appreciate you all for dropping in tonight. I'll try to keep up with the chat. The chat is chatty with only a few people. We had a couple thousand people in the last couple of nights, and nobody would say a word. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming to the light. Akahane, Kitamura, and Suzuki for the Swallows as we will start inning number 2. Our friend Samurai Prayer says he's a lifetime Hanshin Tiger fan because he grew up near the Koshin Stadium. Koshin Stadium's pretty cool. There's 5 NPB stadiums I've not been to. I have been to the Koshin, but I don't count it as being there because I didn't actually see a game. I went on to see the Yokohama DNA Bay Stars, and the games were sold out. Couldn't get a ticket a couple of years ago. That was, I believe, in the 99th year of the Koshin Stadium. Only stadiums I've missed on so far have been Fukuoka, the Koshin, of course, and then I've missed up in Hokkaido as well as the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, and as well as the Nagoya or the Vantolin Dome where the Dragons play. That fastball misses outside. Count is 1-0 to Akahane. Akahane getting the start at second base tonight. Hit 209 last year. Ground ball hit over to short. Fielded neatly by the shortstop Yamamoto, who throws to first. And that's going to retire Akahane on a ground out 6-3. So one in the books. And that'll bring up Keigo Kitamura to the plate. Defensively tonight, For the Dragons, from left to right field, it is Hosokawa in left. The center fielder is Okabayashi, and in right field, Ubiyashi. Around the horn from first to third, Sano is at first, Tanaka is at second. The shortstop is Yamamoto, and at third, it is Fukunaga, with the battery of Miura and Mia. As the lefty rocks into the windup and delivers, the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down and in. The count is 1-0 to Kitamura. Kitamura hitting from the right side here against the lefty who rocks and delivers. Another breaking ball down, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. But the area where the Hanshin Tigers are, it's approximately a 20-minute train ride. Once you get to where the Buffaloes play, that's there. You got to change. You got to get yourself onto a train. Somewhere we missed a pitch here. They've got it. I don't know what's going on. If it's me or if it's the camera. It's 3-1 here. There's a fastball swung, and this ball is belted down the left field line. It's going to get down. It's going to get into the corner. It's going to be extra bases. Rounding first and heading to second is Kitamura as the throw comes back in, and he's going to cruise in safely with a stand-up double here. So we've got a runner at second base. With 1 gone, it's going to bring Kyo Suzuki to the plate. So Suzuki striding to the dish. He's getting the nod as the designated hitter tonight. One thing that would be interesting, or I would find a little bit more interesting, is you don't see the Japanese teams putting out as much English or exporting content that way to a global audience. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner. It's a called strike to Suzuki. You do have to find your way. There are some pretty good resources that are out there. Different people on Twitter, other people on YouTube that have a different angle than we do. We like to call the games. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is ripped into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Coming in on it was the left fielder, and that was Hosokawa, and then he had to retreat because he didn't want the ball to bounce over his head. It's going to be a single for Suzuki. Kitamura wasn't really sure. It looked like he thought that the left fielder was going to catch the ball, and he had to pause and hesitate. And then he eventually advanced to third, and we've got runners on the corners again here with 1 out. And again, the Swallows are threatening. It's going to bring up the center fielder and Yukihiro Iwata. Well, Iwata stepping to the dish here, ready to face Miura for the first time. This is a spot in the batting order. Can the Swallows turn the batting order over to the top as well? Anything he can do. If he can get on or get a base hit here, stand of the double play, it could potentially bring up a big inning. Michael Hook says he took the over and he only bet a small bet of $20. Well, that's probably the safe bet. As I said, betting on baseball to begin with is difficult. Betting on baseball in exhibition baseball, it's almost impossible. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. But if it keeps you entertained and it gives you something to watch, I mean, that's the one thing, when you're watching the games, sometimes people, whatever they can do to keep people's interest for the full 9 innings. And if it means that some people have to put a couple dollars on it and see if it comes through, well, maybe so be it. Breaking ball misses outside. The count is 1-1. That's one of my challenges in North American baseball is people get up and leave. They get there in the third and they leave in the 7th. Demon Slayer says, Wrong, he makes more money on baseball season than any other sport. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 1-2. Well, if you can get into a rhythm and if you've got a system and it works for you, but certainly when you're having to look at the pitching matchups, the bullpen usages, how teams are managed, how the managers do manage the stuff, it is a challenge. I mean, if you're always picking against the Rockies, you're probably going to win 2/3 of the time, or maybe more. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Iwata. As the lefty holds to the set, checks the runners. Here comes the pitch. On the way, it's a breaking ball swung on, grounded, and it's going to get through the 4-hole into right field past the first baseman, Sano. We're going to have to see how that's going to be ruled. And going all the way around to third is Suzuki, so that's the second run. I want to see if he did have a legitimate chance to knock it down or not. We're going to take a look here on the replay. Nice piece of hitting there by Suzuki. It was an excuse me swing. Looked like he just wanted to get a piece of it. He ends up hooking it. No, Sano had no chance. That's going to be a single and an RBI off the bat of Iwata. Suzuki goes all the way around to third. In to score was Kitamura, and it's going to bring the top of the order in Shumasuda to the plate. And we got our friend God is Great in here. So we got another Japanese listener, of course. So the Swallows are flapping their wings here early in the ball game with a early 2-0 lead. Runners on the corners and only one out. Top of the order, Masuda at the plate. And for Masuda, he walked his first time up. He had an impressive 8-pitch at bat. As the lefty ready to deliver, and instead he throws to first, and diving back is the runner Iwata. God is Great says he's watching it on TV. Demon Slayer says he's made an algorithm. Yeah, you know what? If you have the time to be able to do something like that, there's a fastball ticket for a called strike. I'm not sure who the home plate umpire is tonight. I have to go back and take a look. But so far, probably one of my least favorite umpires of the preseason in the NPB. Really late to make calls, and his timing is quite different each time, especially on his strike calls. Here's the 0-1. Fastball misses up and away. Count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Middle of the infield is in double play depth. Corners in at third, and Sano holding the runner over at first. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. On the way, fastball. There goes the runner down to second. The throw down, and it's not going to be in time. And safe is the call. We're going to take a look to see if the runner at third, Suzuki, moved, and he didn't. He stayed there. It's going to be a stolen base for Iwata, so the double play is taken out of the equation. I didn't see if the last pitch was swung on or not. I'll take a look there as the pitch was up in the zone. It was a ball to Masuda. So 2 balls and a strike. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to second. They're going to come home with it. The throw, it's not going to be in time, and that's going to get a run in. Suzuki's going to score. The ground ball was hit right to the second baseman, Tanaka. He fielded it cleanly. They took a shot at the plate, not able to get Suzuki. He scores the second run in the inning. It's the third of the ball game. Iwata advances over to third. And Masuda will be safe at first. That's going to be an RBI. He's also going to reach on a fielder's choice. But now the umpires are going to go and have a look at this because they want to take a peek. I mean, it's worth a shot here. We're going to get a look at the replay of it. The throw came home. And I don't know if they got the tag down in time. And in fact, I'll even take it one step further. I don't know if not only did he not get the tag down in time. I think he's safe. I think the Dragons are wasting a challenge here. I don't know unless they got a different angle than what we see. But I think they were able to get the hand down around the tag. And that'll give the Swallows yet another run. So we'll wait for the decision here. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it's going to work. Our friend God is Great I'm wondering where Samurai Prayer is in Japan, as he is in Japan himself as well. Our friend God is great in the Sendai region. It's always a pleasure to have you in here, Titus. Here comes the call from the umpire, and they ruled it safe, just as we projected. They lost a challenge, did the Dragons. That's going to put runners at the corners here. And two are already across. It's now a 3-0 lead for the Swallows. Samurai Prayer says he's currently living in Osaka City. When I spent my time in Osaka, I stayed in Shinsaibashi. That was the second time. The first time I stayed outside, I actually stayed in a place called Tsukamoto, which was kind of neat. This is going to bring Ryu Ito to the plate. Ito singled his first time up, and he was left stranded. Runners at the corners. Here's the pitch, and as a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side, the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Demon Slayer says it's going to take email to be able to do it, and we can maybe connect you guys through our channel at some point. Titus has been in Japan for 41 years now. Wow. As they throw over to first base, and diving back is the runner Masuda. I was thinking about this earlier tonight. I've almost been in the West Coast for 20 years. Can't believe it. As the pitch is a breaking ball that misses way outside, the count goes to 1-1. What's the old saying? The hours and the days drag by in life, but the weeks and the months fly by. And certainly the years start multiplying. I always think that they go by in twos after you turn 23 years old. Here's the 1-1 pitch. On the way, fastball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul down the right field line into the seats, and the count is 1-2. And our friend Alex in the house says it's 5:30 in Indianapolis. Yeah, it would be. Thank you for joining us, Alex. Appreciate you popping in. As the lefty ready to go again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Miura checking the signs from his catcher, Mia, as he gets himself ready to go. And here comes the 1-2. And it's a breaking ball down. It squirts away from the catcher. Here comes the runner to the plate. The throw, it's not going to be in time, as the pitcher, Miura, a little late to cover. We're going to see how they're going to rule that. I think it's a wild pitch, and it's going to move everybody up 90 feet as Iwata comes in to score the 3rd run of the inning. Looks like our friend Michael Hooks, that over 6.5 is looking good. Sliding in safely was Iwata, I should say. And it was a wild pitch that's going to score that run. So over to second is Masuda. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Ito. And the 51st pitch of the ball game set to come here from the starter Miura. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count now goes to 3-2. Ito singled his first time up, as we mentioned. He was left stranded. God is great says he's been to 87 countries and he speaks 13 languages. I'm still struggling with my first language. Here's the 3-2. Fastball swung on, and it's grounded through the 6-hole into left field. Fielding it is Hosokawa, the throw to the plate, and it's coming through, but it's late. And another run on the board here, as Ito has driven in the Swallows' 5th run of the game. Michael Hooks might be getting himself a victory here in the 2nd inning alone, as the umbrellas are out in full force. Surprised the Swallow fans brought the umbrella. So another RBI here for Ito. And the scoreline is 5-0. Our friend Demon Slayer says, give me an email. I'll send you an enhanced algorithm. Well, if you want to send it through to me, it could be info at lastrapsbaseball.com. Just make sure that our friend My Cool Hooks could do that too, and I'll forward it on and get you guys all connected if it works it that way. So this brings to the plate Udai Koga. Koga is 1-for-1 tonight. He singled and drove it around his first time, and he hits a slow grounder over to short. Fielded neatly there by Yamamoto. It's going to advance the runner over to third. Just to finish off Ito there a moment ago, Ito had singled. He went to second on the throw, and now he's over to third. And that is the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Jose Osuna to the plate. Osuna is going to be the 8th hitter to come to the plate here in inning number 2. I don't know if it's going to take your emails in the chat. Usually what ends up happening is they block it out. So as I said, if you want to send it to me, you're welcome, and I can copy all you guys on it. Just let me know. There's the first pitch. Fastball is taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Osuna. Osuna 0-for-1 tonight. Grounded into a double play his first time up. Batting from the right side here against Mira, who delivers a fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side. Fielded neatly by the second baseman of the Dragons, and that's Tanaka, who throws out Osuna, and that's going to end the inning. Ground out 4-3 for out number 3, and that is going to do it here. 4 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There were no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We are through 1.5, and the Dragons are getting it fed to them here tonight by the Swallows. It is 5-0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action right after this. Appreciate you for being here. Our friend Alex says, careful, a particularly meddlesome chatter might sign you up for spam lists. Possibly, but we'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for being there. I don't think really much matters. And our email here, it's okay for us. I mean, you could get it right on our page anyway. We'll be right back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for hanging in. It is the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back with all the action in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Samurai Prayer says the Japan and Czech match is starting soon. Yeah, 15 minutes away. Actually, probably about 25 minutes away. It's been starting at 10 past the hour, most of those games. And we had no interest in calling that one tonight. The Czechs are done. Japan's going through. It doesn't much matter. The game doesn't mean a whole lot other than watching the Japanese stars play. I would think tonight, and I haven't looked at the lineups, but I would hazard a guess that the Japanese may be rolling out a different lineup tonight for that game than maybe what we have witnessed. I haven't seen what the lineups look like yet, but I'm just guessing, that we're going to see some players that haven't been in the lineup to this point. I'm just taking a look right now. It is Morishita tonight leading off. Sato will hit second. Murakami hits third. Yoshida fourth, Okamoto, then Kaito Kazono, then Yukio Shudo, then it is Yuhei Nakamura and Taisi Makihara. So just as I suspected, there'll be 4 A lot of changes in the lineup. Some of the regulars will be there. We'll have to see how that all plays out. Well, we are back to the action here. I'm a little bit behind. I don't know why this is. It's the Dragons have got a couple of runs on the board. It looks like that Miguel Sano has hit a 2-run homer. Not sure why this is going on today. It has been a really, really weird setup. So it's a 1-1 count right now on to Hiroki Fukunaga. So just so you know, we lost the first 2 batters of the inning. So I'm not sure how Hosokawa got on. 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs. Count goes to 2-2 on Fukunaga. So Sano with a 2-run shot. And Hosokawa in to score. So there's your 7 points. Breaking ball swung on, tapped back to the pitcher. Fielded neatly by Matsumoto. He throws to first. It's a ground out 1-3 for the first out of the inning. And then it is going to bring up Toshiki Abe. Okay, we got that in place. Our friend Hiroto Takahashi is starting for the Dragons. And you're absolutely correct. So I heard it come through. I'll take a look at it after the game. My cool hooks. So yeah, if Demon Slayer sends it along, then we'll connect you guys that way. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So Toshiki Abe is aboard with a single, and the Dragons bats are waking up. 5-2 is the scoreline here. And that is going to bring Yasuhiro Yamamoto to the plate. Bizarre. Don't understand why it's doing that tonight to us here. I'll have to keep our eye on that and why we're losing that. Well, 5-2. Yeah, already the over here in inning number 2. Maybe that's got to do something with the umpiring. I'm not sure. So Abe gets his lead at first. There is 1 gun here in the inning. Yamamoto at the plate. As the right-hander Matsumoto holds set, now delivers. Fastball misses up, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Michael Hook says, wow, that's a really quick win. Absolutely. Very strange that has happened. Also strange the way that feed is clicked around a little bit. I have to get how Hosokawa got on. I didn't get it the last time. There's a ground ball hit up the middle, fielded by the shortstop, steps on the bag, and then he fires to first, and we got ourselves a double play. Oh, what a beautiful play by Ito. He fielded it moving toward the base. It's going to be a double play, 6-3. Abe retired for the first out, or the second out of the inning. On the trail side, Yamamoto gone, and that is going to do it here in the second inning. 2 runs in the inning on a 2-run homer by Miguel Sano. Don't know how many hits. We'll have to go back and check how Hosokawa got on. There were no errors and nobody left the board. Your score as we now move to the top of the 3rd inning. It is a 5-2 ball game. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action right after this timeout. And I'll update our ticker for you, too. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Domingo Santana, Yoshihiro Akahane, and Keigo Kitamura to come to bat here in the third inning for the Swallows. It is a 5-2 lead over the Dragons. Our friend Samurai Player says the Dragons have good players this year and they can compete with the Tigers in the regular season. I do believe it. And more importantly, one team that they always play tough is the Murray Giants. They seem to have their number, whether they're good or bad. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in. Count as 1-0 to Santana. 8 hitters went to the plate in inning number 2 as the lefty rocks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into foul territory. Oh, my goodness, on the first base side. And Miguel Sano brought out the frying pans as it hits his glove and hits the turf in foul territory. That should have been an out. Oh, hit him in a bad spot right in the hands. And it was right in the glove. Unbelievable. Well, this is spring training for you. You got to get the kinks out, because if you saw that in the regular season, I think the Dragon fans might be throwing tomatoes at you. So 1 ball and 1 strike now to Domingo Santana, and there's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lefty kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball missing outside. The count is 2-2. 59 pitches already here for Mura, so I'm kind of wondering what the leash will be on him tonight. My guess is probably 85. So hopefully he can, at least for his sake, get out of this inning reasonably quick if he wants to see the 4th. There's a breaking ball that misses down. The count goes to 3-2. I was talking about the Dragons. Dragons pitching is going to be decent as well, as there's a fastball swung on its tap foul right at home plate, and the count remains at 3-2. But I think, as I mentioned at the top of the stream, it's going to be the Tigers, and then my next pick would be the Giants, not the San Francisco Giants, the Murray Giants. And then you're looking at a 3-horse race for third place, because the Bay Stars are not going to be as strong. Carp, I don't think the Carp are very good, as there's another pop-up over on the first base side. And Miguel Sano makes the catch on this one, and he gets sort of a Bronx cheer. And that is going to retire Santana. He's going to be gone for the first out of the inning. So if at first you don't succeed, try again. And he almost overran that one. That was the funny part. But he's able to haul that one in, and that is going to be the first out of the inning. And it's going to bring up Yoshihiro Akahane. So Akahane is stepping to the plate as the lefty delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. Akahane was the first out of the second inning. He grounded to short in his only trip to the plate. He is 2 for 26 in exhibition play. Not very good so far. There's a breaking ball missing way outside. The count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. As there is a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Again, Mura rocking into the windup. Kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses down. That's going to be ball 4. So Akahane will take that one. He'll get himself aboard with a 1-out walk, and that is going to bring up the third baseman in Keigo Kitamura. About 16 minutes to game time for Samurai Japan and the Czech Republic, as that game will go off at the Tokyo Dome. I can't understand why they would even maybe put that game last in terms of schedules and seedings. But not the one who makes the schedules. Here comes the first offering to Kitamura. It's a breaking ball that misses down. He is 3 for 16 in exhibition play. Ball and no strikes. He doubled his first time up, and he came around to score the second run of the ball game for the Swallows. But I think it's going to be a long year for the Swallows. Not only is there, I don't know if they made a final decision. I heard that their stadium is going to be ripped apart. The Jingu is going to be torn down for a housing development. They figure that it's probably, I think it was last year, they said that they were talking about it, it's about 5 years away. And Samurai Prayer says in the chat, I'm not going to read it all, but I agree with everything he said. There's a fastball lined into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Rounding second and heading to third is Akahani, and he's going to reach there safely. And Kitamura's got himself a single here. It's got runners on the corners again. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Kyo Suzuki. The thing with the teams like the Giants, the Hawks, to some extent the Bay Stars, they can spend their way out of trouble. And if they make a poor mistake, they can always go out and overspend and be able to get themselves another player. And you're probably right. Abe is maybe not doing the best job. I would also say this, that the Giants in particular, at least this version of it over the last few years, and the other version that I would say is this, is, as far as I know, our friend Demon Slayer says he sent us the baseball methodology. I'm going to take a look because I heard one email come in, but I haven't heard the others. So I'll go and take a look and see if it did come through. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. Looking up, and it is gone. A home run, a 3-run shot off the bat of Kyo Suzuki, and that is going to extend the Swallows' lead to 8-2. So our friend Michael Hooks, who was talking about possibly taking the over here in this one, you might want to put another couple of bucks down on another over as the runs continue to pile up here for the Swallows. So high fives all the way around. It is going to bring up Yukihiro Iwata to the plate. So batting practice for the Swallows at the Vantolin Dome tonight. Just going back to what our friend Samurai Prayer says about the Giants. The other thing is another team I'm critical with, although it looks like they may have sorted themselves out. The Eagles have not had success in recent years of signing import players. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Iwata. Iwata singled and scored a run his last time up. And he has also stolen a base. There's a fastball tap foul over on the first base side. The count goes to 0-2. Lots of scoring here in this one as the Swallows are enjoying an 8-2 lead. There is action in the bullpen as the pitcher Neo is up. Those of you who don't remember, Eo was originally drafted as a shortstop. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. And that is going to replace Iwata. He's gone for the second out of the inning. He kind of complained a little bit, did Neo, that he wasn't getting a fair shake at shortstop. But he could pump 95 miles an hour, and they wanted to get him on the mound, and that's where he is. But I would assume he's coming in for the fourth, with the assumption that the starter Mira can get out of the third. And here's the leadoff hitter again, Masuda, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. Masuda has walked, he's bounced into a fielder's choice, he's driven in a run, and he's scored a pair. 0-1 on the way. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to short, fielded neatly by the shortstop Yamamoto, who throws to first, and that is going to retire Masuda on a ground out, 6-3. He's gone for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Swallows in their half of the inning. But more damage done. 3 runs in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the third inning. It is a 8-2 beatdown right now early on here for the Swallows. But it is exhibition baseball. You never know what's going to happen when the bullpens start coming in. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after this timeout. Okay, fellas, just a heads up for you guys. I got both of your emails, so what I'll do is I'll copy on it after the game, and we'll get it over to you at that point. So we will follow up with both of you once this game is complete. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. We are 2 pitches into the at-bat here for Taisi Mia, the 9-hole hitter for the Dragons. It's no balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander Matsumoto delivers a fastball and is taken for a called 3rd strike. And Mia is down on strikes for the first out of the inning. He stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched that one go by. And that is going to bring up the top of the order in Yuki Okabayashi. So Mio in the books for the first out. Okabayashi coming to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight in this one. He had popped a 3rd on the first pitch of the ball game that he saw. That drives me insane when you got leadoff hitters at the ball game and they swing at the first pitch and then they have such a feeble attempt. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Although I have to say, I do like Okabayashi's game, but he's been terrible in the exhibition season. He's 2 for 21. Just as our friend Samurai Prayer says, maybe the Swallows should save some runs for the regular season. So too should the hits for Okabayashi. Maybe he's using that as a strategy. And there's a ground ball hit to the right side. And that ball's got eyes as it gets through the 4-hole. And Okabayashi is aboard with a 1-out single. And that is going to bring up the second baseman in Makia Tanaka. Well, Tanaka is officially 0 for 1. He has struck out in his only plate appearance. Okabayashi is a threat to run. He can run a little bit. So keep an eye on him over at first base as the right-handed hitting Tanaka, who's, he said, 0 for 1 tonight. Right-hander holds set. Now he fires. There's a fastball swung on his chop back to the pitcher. He looks at second, but they're going to go to first. The batter, Tanaka, stumbled out of the box. That's going to go as a ground out, 1-3. It was like a swinging bunt. Okabayashi, with his speed, he's easily able to make it into second base. Tanaka gone for out number 2. And that's going to bring up the right fielder in Seiji Ubiyashi. Our friend Demon Slayer says it's not even funny, so I'll take a peek at it too. I'll let you know. That's pretty cool. And also for you guys, thank you for sharing that with one another. And we're all connected now. So there we go. And this brings to the plate Seiji Ubiyashi, who's 0 for 1 tonight. He popped out to 3rd his first time up. And he swings at the first pitch he sees and lines it right to the second baseman. A nice catch there to end the inning by Akahane, and that will do it here as Ubiashi's gone for out number 3. Well, we had no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your score, as we are now through 3 complete, a third of the game in the books, it is the Swallows with an 8-2 lead over the Dragons. Stick around, everybody. The 4th inning is just around the corner, and we'll be back to bring it with you when we return after this musical timeout. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. We'll be back in 30 seconds with all the action. It is an 8-2 ball game, and it is a festive atmosphere tonight We'll be back in just a bit.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. There is a pitching change, as it is going to be Akira Neo who is coming into the ball game. As I mentioned earlier, he was originally drafted as a shortstop, and he is completing his tune-up tosses and will be ready to resume the action as Mizuki Miura's night is done. So Neo on here in relief. If I remember correctly, I believe he was a rookie. It was 2018 or 2019 when he was drafted. I can't exactly remember. But a highly regarded prospect in terms of a position player who never really panned out. And the big reason, couldn't hit. So now he's on the mound, showcasing his stuff. Our friend that Demon Slayer says about using the algo, post it, ask it, predict it, and then it gives you what you want. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to the shortstop, Ryuhei Ito. Ito is 2 for 2 tonight. He's got a couple of singles and an RBI. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away, and the count runs even to 1-1. Yeah, also interested, some of those type of things where you have, obviously the ball game. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into deep left field. Hosokawa on his horse. He leaps and it's over his head and off the wall. He fields it on a hop and he fires it back in, but cruising into second base with his third hit of the ball game is Ito. And the Swallows bats continue to pound out the runs here, or pound out the hits as well as the runs. So it doesn't matter who's in the ball game. They're beating them around like a rented mule. Our friend Demon Slayer says it's not a Bible on it, but it gives you some insight. Well, that's good. And if it ends up working, that's pretty cool too. Like that game last night that we called between Korea and Australia, as far as I was concerned, I didn't think the Aussies were going to win, and they didn't, as there's a fastball that gets away from the catcher and advancing over to third. There's yet another, that one there is a pass ball. We saw a wild pitch earlier, but this one here is going to advance Ito over to third. Looks like the Dragons tonight have brought hands of stones with them. That pitch there had arm side run from Dale, but it just went all the way off of the glove of the catcher, and that should have been had. So Ito is over to third. The Dragons, trailing by 6, have brought the infield in to try to stop another run from coming home. As Neo delivers a breaking ball that's outside, it's now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Right-hander against the right-hander. As Neo kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Whatever you can use to beat the street, like they say in Wall Street, whatever you can do to beat the strip in Vegas, I'm all for it. Here's the 3-0. Fastball swung on and hammered foul down the right field line, and the count is 3-1. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. You want to take everybody else's nickels and dimes and dollars and cents and whatever it is. The little guy's got to win some battles too. So here comes the 3-1 pitch as Neo kicks and fires. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to get looped into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Over to field it is Okabayashi, and that's going to be the 9th run of the ball game on the RBI single off the bat of Koga. As Ito comes in to score, and that is going to bring up Jose Ozuna to the plate. And some irony to this, the guys who I would think would be pounding out the hits, being Osuna and Santana, are yet to get one. They are combined 0 for 4. It has been the rest of the lineup tonight that has been doing the damage for the Swallows. So the right-hander Nao delivers. There's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count's 0-1 to Osuna. Osuna has grounded into a double play, and he has grounded out to second in his 2 trips. Right-hander works to the set. If I'm not mistaken, I know Nao's not a big guy. If I remember right, he's got to be like, I don't even know if he's 5'9". There's a breaking ball that misses down, and it's now 1 ball and 1 strike. He's their version of Tim Collins, but from the right side. As you may recall, Tim Collins was a pitcher for the Kansas City Royals organization. I think he bounced around. He might have been a Blue Jay too. He was only like something like 5'7" and threw like 95 miles an hour. Breaking ball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul into the seats on the first base side, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I don't know if our friend Brandon Jensen's still kicking around here or not. He was listening earlier. Maybe Brando wants in on that smoke too. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses up and away, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander Nao holding set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that swung on and missed. Osuna loses the bat. The bat goes all the way to almost the shortstop position. He's gone on strikes as he walks back to the dugout. So he's gone for out number 1. It's going to bring up the left fielder in Domingo Santana. All right, Brando, we'll connect you into this as well. But it might cost you, Brando. You might have to be the guy doing the next commercial with some of those clips. There's a fastball that misses outside, and that's 1 ball and no strikes. Samurai Prayer says they signed Nao as a 2-way player 7 years ago. He was a superstar in the national high school competition, for the Cochin. Santana at the plate, 0 for 2 tonight. Swings through a fastball, and the count now goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. He is 3 for 16 in the exhibition play. So he has not hit his stride yet. Brando the Algo. Yeah, I'm sure Brando would appreciate. Here's the 1-1. Fastball just misses down. It's now 2-1 here to Santana. Yeah, that's what I mentioned. Nao was a shortstop. And as I said, but he when he was originally drafted, he fought the idea of getting onto the mound. He didn't want to pitch. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses up. It's now 3-1 to Santana. But as I mentioned now, he is solely a pitcher. And the main reason at the professional level, his bat didn't play out. But that's the way it goes. If you've got the arm, you can extend your career a lot longer. There's a changeup swung on and missed. Oh, that was a nice pitch by Nao. Count is 3-2. So we get a look at that on the replay again. And boy, Santana was way out in front of it. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. It is a breaking ball down in the dirt. And Santana's going to get himself a walk here. That's going to be ball 4. Advancing over to second is Koga. And that is going to bring Yoshihiro Akahane to the plate. I figured tonight's game would be a quick game. But by the looks of it here, I think we're going to be in it for the long haul. As we are in the top of inning number 4, and the Swallows looking to put more runs on the board. As Nao does the old spaghetti move, and it chases the runner, Koga, back to second. As we said, the crowd tonight, the upper deck is basically empty. As the pitch is a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. Yeah, Samurai Prayer says that he didn't meet the best managers and best coach, unfortunately. Yeah, that sometimes happens too. Maybe also the development of the athlete. Certainly, the Dragons, you could point their finger at a couple of things. Number one, maybe their scouting, and number two, their development. Demon Slayer says, when's the season start? Official start to the season is 2 weeks from Friday, if my math is correct off the top of my head. It's either the 28th or the 29th. I can't remember. I have to look it up. As that fastball swung on, it is lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is now 1-2 to Akahani. End of March. Yeah, it's that Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend. I'm going to call the opener, which would be on the Friday. I haven't decided who I'm going to call. I'm leaning toward the opener between the Swallows and the Fighters. That would be the rematch of the Pacific League Climax Series. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 2-2. I'm actually looking at going to see University of Northwestern Wildcats play University of Washington on the Saturday night. So maybe just one game and possibly two. And then trying to get to see the Guardians and the Mariners on the Sunday, as there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and Akahane is in the books for the second out. And that is going to bring up the third baseman in Kaigo Katamura. Yeah, on the Friday. So Friday would be basically like late Thursday, Friday morning in North America. So two gone here, and that is going to bring Kitamura to the plate. He is 2 for 2. He's got himself a single and a double. He's scored a pair of runs. As the right-hander Neo delivers a breaking ball that's waved at and missed, and the count is 0-1. So no ball and one strike. Our friend Demon Slayer is not just scouting baseball and giving tips. He is also scouting the ladies. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball. It's taken for a called strike. It's now 0-2. I had a friend of mine that I dated in high school, and she used to say to me, she said, if you're ever going to marry an Asian woman, marry the Korean women because they take care of their men. That was her thing, and she was Chinese. So I don't know if that's truth or lore. I think if you got the right woman, it doesn't matter who it is. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball. Take it for a called third strike. Kitamura watched that one go by for out number 3, and that is going to do it. Well, now comes in. He gives a run up on a couple of hits, but he strikes out the side. There were no errors and a runner left aboard. Your scores, we move now to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is 9-2 for the Swallows. They've scored in every single inning. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action right after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Seiya Hosokawa, Miguel Sano, and Hiroki Fukunaga to come to bat here in the fourth inning as the right-hander for the Swallows. Matsumoto on the mound here. Only 33 pitches in his 3 innings of work thus far. And the first pitch to Hosokawa is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. I missed what Hosokawa did his first time up. I know he scored a run. As I mentioned, we had a bit of a blackout there for a little bit. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Hosokawa. Well, the thing is that in some of the countries, there aren't the incentives. Some countries, I know that there are quite the modern day baby bonus in some countries of what you get. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. You know, it's you get countries are, you know, all around the world that have different philosophies over time. Remember the China, they were talking about the one child policy. You know, it's one way to control your population or to slow it down, at least in theory. I remember if you go to the southern United States, as the 0-2 is on the way, it's a breaking ball missing outside, not to say southern, but in the state of Kentucky, there was a religious group at around the turn of the century, the 1900s, that said that they were the Coopers. And their Coopers is that they had to be celibate. So that you can kind of guess that religion and that philosophy, they kind of ran out of members pretty quick. Fastball swung on a grounded foul over on the first base side. It remains 1-2 to Hosokawa. Samurai Player says, do you think Hosokawa is a future major league player? No, I don't. I don't understand what happened with him and the Bay Stars, why he didn't get an opportunity. As there's a pitch that's down, and they appeal to first, and they say he didn't go. It's going to be 2-2 to Hosokawa. So, yeah, I think Hosokawa. I don't see him. I think Sato for the Hanshin Tigers is the next positional player to go. There's a fastball swung on, his grounded deep into the 6th hole. Oh, what a play by the shortstop. And he fires a one-hop shot across the diamond. What a play by Ito. Oh, my goodness. Backhand in the 6th hole, fires a one-hopper to first, and Hosokawa is going to be talking to himself on the way back to the dugout as he was robbed of a base hit. He's gone for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring Miguel Sano to the plate. Oh, there's a web gem right there. So Miguel Sano coming to the plate, who had a 2-run homer back in the 2nd inning. Batting from the right side here with the Dragons trailing 9-2. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. I didn't see Sano. He's 4 for 19. He's got a couple of homers in the spring training. I didn't see Sano with the Angels per se. But I can say this from his time with the Minnesota Twins, as that fastball misses outside, it's 2-0. Looks like he's in a lot better shape. He was really sloppy with the Twins, pushing up around 300 pounds. He looks like he's still all of about 270. He's a big man. There's a fastball swung on. This is line down the right field line, and it's in the corner, and it's going to be extra bases as it kicks around, fielding it off the wall and firing it in. As Sano has slid in with a double as the right fielder, Masuda. Nice play by Masuda. He didn't go chasing after it. He got to the wall, it hit, and then he played it perfectly. But Sano aboard with a double, and that is going to bring Hiroki Fukunaga to the plate. Samurai Prayer says, the Dragons are good at finding great foreign players. Yeah, I'm going to say this. I mean, Sano obviously getting an opportunity to come back. Another one that they had was that Dan Visiedo. He was able to come over from the White Sox after Jose Abreu knocked him out of a position. He gave the Dragons some good years as that fastball misses down to Fukunaga. 1 ball and no strikes. I'll also say this, that Ariel Martinez, the catcher / first baseman DH, who's with the Fighters now, he was originally a Dragon as well. So they were able to bring him in, and he was very productive in his time. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1 on Fukunaga. So that being said, they need to continue to bring in some of their players. They also seem to do well in the Latin connection. So in other words, the players that they bring in are Latins, although they do have Jason Vossler, who's not in the lineup at the moment. But he's still at the ball club. There's a fastball swung on and it's grounded foul. They seem to have success in the Latin area. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Fukunaga. Some teams, they have a pipeline. They said the Hiroshima Carp were the first Japanese team to have an academy in the Dominican. You never ever hear about that. You don't think about that the Japanese league would have academies in other places, but the Carp do. They have their academy in the Dominican, or at least we're the first to have one. There's a fastball swung on its line, foul just into the temporary seating. Count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It all gets going for real in another couple of weeks' time. As we were saying, the NPB season starts 2 weeks from Friday. I'll be there to bring it to you. As the right-hander holds to the set position, here comes the 1-2. Kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on it. Is lifted into deep left field. This ball is going to get down. It's into the corner. In after to pick it up is Santana. He fires it back in. And Sanoa is going to come around to score the 3rd run of the game for the Dragons. So the hit parade for both of these teams continues, as that is a double off the bat of Fukunaga. He gets himself an RBI, and that'll bring up Toshiki Abe to the plate. So maybe 9 runs isn't safe enough. I don't know what the over-under is now. Demon Slayer says the Chinese were the first in South America along with Russia. Yeah, well, you're not incorrect. That is for certain, certainly on the Russian part. As the right-hander delivers, there's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Abe 1 for 1 tonight. He singled in his only trip to the plate. This is his 2nd stint with the Chunichi Dragons. He originally began his career with them. He spent the last few seasons in a Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagle uniform. As the right-hander is checking with his catcher, he's shaking him off. As the 0-1 is ready to come, here's the pitch. It's a split finger pitch swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats down the right field line, and the count now goes to 0-2. So just as I say, the Swallows are going to be in tough in the Central League, I think the bigger tire fire is going to be with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles this year in the Pacific. That's my guess. Not that Chiba is necessarily a powerhouse, but I do think the Saitama Seibu Lions have made enough inroads to, even despite losing Tetsuya Imai, as there is a split finger pitch that the home plate umpire says Abe went around on, and he's gone on strikes for the 2nd out. So if I was making predictions for playoffs, I would say it's going to be the big 3 yet again: the Buffaloes, the Fighters, and the Hawks in the Pacific League. They will take the top 3 spots. I'll say the Lions will finish 4th, and then probably the Marines, and then the Eagles. That would be my predictions in the Pacific. So this is going to bring Yoshihiro Yamamoto to the plate as they throw over to second base to try to pick off Fukunaga, and he gets back barely. The throw was a bit up. The tag was high. That's one thing that they've been doing in the exhibition season. They've been working on stuff. I'd like to see them working on that. So here comes the offering as the right-hander holds to the set. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses down. A good stop there by the catcher, but the runner is not going to be able to advance. So that's going to be ball here. Nao is still up and throwing in front of the Dragon dugout. So I wonder how fast all the other fans of the game will come back, because we lost a bunch of people out of the stream. I'm sure that game between Samurai Japan is on right now. I'll try to get an update in between here as they're playing the Czechs. So here's the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander holds set. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-0. Mass exodus for the game between those two teams. Nothing in the top of the second inning between the Czechs and Samurai Japan. As I said, in a pretty much a mean nothing game. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Kind of like the Americans playing Great Britain. Mean nothing game. I can't believe Skubal was wasted in that game. 2-0 pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses up. Count goes to 3-0 on Yamamoto. 2 gone here in the fourth. Runner at second, Fukunaga. The Dragons have a run on the board here as it's now at a 9-3 scoreline. As the right-hander ready to deliver. As he checks the runner at second, now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and a strike. Right-hander again working to the set, and here comes the pitch to the right-handed hitting Yamamoto. Pitch on the way, fastball taken for a ball upstairs. That's going to be ball 4. Yamamoto is going to get himself a walk that puts runners at first and second. It's going to be Taisi Mia to the plate, who struck out his only time up, and it's also going to be a conference on the mound here as the entire infield has come in to settle the pitcher down. Matsumoto at 56 pitches. I was saying earlier about how the Swallows, their stadium is going to be, or they're going to be on the move, as the Jingu Stadium is slated for a demolition. I'm not sure when that is, if it's in 3 years or 4 years. I mean, obviously they're trying to save the stadium. They don't want it to go. Having been to the stadium and like it, it's an old feel and everything else. All good things sometimes must come to an end. I can only imagine the players change across the street. Our friend Brandon says it's sleepy time for him. We appreciate it. 5:30 does come quick. Thanks for stopping in, Brando. I hope I sent you a video earlier on tonight. Pretty sure you know what it's all about, but I thank you kindly as always. So no balls and 1 strike to Mia as the right-hander ready to go again. Again, Matsumoto holding to the set. Checks the runner at second. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. It's even in Japanese for you, too. So no balls and 2 strikes. You could tell Demon Slayer's into the beers tonight, that is for sure. As the right-hander ready to go again. As he checks the runner at second, here comes the pitch. On the way, 0-2, swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Mia for the 3rd out of the inning And that is going to do it here. Well, the Dragons get another run back. They got 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. Your score, as we are through 4 complete, it is a 9-3 ball game. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Demon Slayer will keep us entertained with all his sidebars, and we'll be back after this in just a bit.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in. Check them out. Leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kiraneo coming back out onto the hill as he's ready to face Kyo Suzuki, Yukihiro Iwata, and the top of the order Shu Masuda, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Neo 27 pitches in his first inning of work, delivers a fastball that misses up and away for ball 1. Count is 1-0. 9-3, the Dragons have the lead here in the top of the 5th inning. As the right-hander Neo kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and is grounded foul over on the third base side. The count goes even at 1-1. One thing that I'm not sure about is if they run the commercials if YouTube runs commercials during the game. That's what I'm curious to know. There's a fastball swung on it, is lined softly to the shortstop, Yamamoto. And Suzuki is retired for the first out. And when they do position it, that's the things I'm always curious about. Because I actually really haven't, because I don't look at it all the time in that regard, because I've got the YouTube Premium. So I get it commercial free, but for those who don't have it, I wonder where they place their stoppages. So the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0 to Iwata. Iwata officially tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. He struck out looking. He stole a base and he scored a run. As there is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander Neo kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses way outside. The count goes to 2-1. It's interesting, as Demon Slayer has got as he said we were talking about the algorithms earlier and the, figuring out how to beat the street or maybe to beat the strip. As there's a fastball taken for a called strike. It's now 2-2. The thing I was getting at with that is when you look at scouting now in baseball, they got rid of a lot of scouts, and they are trying to use analytics in terms of the way that they evaluate players. So getting rid of scouts, saving some money, and trying to use mathematical models to evaluate the way certain players play. There's a fastball swung on. It's cued off the end of the bat, foul. And it keeps the count at 2-2. Yeah, so AI ended scouting. Yeah, you're not that far. Certainly the models, whatever they look for. I mean, some of the stuff that I hear coming back from the spring training with some of the players, there's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into left field. Hosokawa started back, and now he has to come in. And he makes the grab, and that is going to retire Iwata for the second out. So, talking to some players and some of the players' parents who I'm with, you're teaching the kids how to play a game at a young level. And then they've got all kinds of stuff that they measure, whether it be bat speed. It's almost like it's a live experiment for some of these guys in spring training. Pitch on the way, fastball catches the inside corner for called strike. Count is 0-1. I've got a friend of mine his daughter is going to, well, actually it's his niece is going to Stanford. And his older brother is trying to discourage her from becoming a medical doctor. He says, you don't want to do that unless you become a subspecialist or a specialist. As that breaking ball misses down. And the reason for that is just as Demon Slayer says, AI is going to push your general practitioner to the wayside. As the 1-1 pitch is ready to come here, as Nail rocks and delivers. Fastball swung on, grounded over to second, fielded neatly by the second baseman, Tanaka, who throws to first, and we got ourselves a 1-2-3 inning. It's a ground out 4-3, and that is going to do it here in the fifth for the Swallows. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. And that is going to take us halfway point of the ball game. As we move to the bottom of the fifth, your score is 9-3 for the Swallows. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call just a couple minutes after this. Appreciate you for being here on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back in just a few. Hang tight, everybody.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have Lira. We have Yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Thank you there, Steve. It is much appreciated to have you supporting the channel. We do have a pitching change. And it is the always popular number 012. I love the training and development numbers on the players. We're going to see who this is here. And it's going to be Yu Hirasawa on the pitch. He'll be the second pitcher used by the Swallows. So Yu Hirasawa on in relief of Kengo Matsumoto as he completes his tune-up tosses, and we're ready to get back to the live action. So Hirasawa on in relief. And the first pitch that he delivers to Yuki Okabayashi is a fastball that misses down for ball one, 1-0. Our friend Samurai Prayer says maybe AI voice commentary in the future. Not far off. There's a fastball that misses down and in. Count is 2-0. I mean, you think about it. I was watching a video today. If you guys get a chance, as there's a fastball swung on, this ball is lifted into deep right center field, giving chase, and it is going to be off the wall. It is fielded by the center fielder who fires it back in, and Okabayashi is going to get himself a double. Iwata played it perfectly off the wall as he gets it in and holds Okabayashi to a double here to start the fifth inning. This isn't a commercial. It's not a reference, but there is a channel that I like to watch and also their podcast. If you haven't seen it, it's called Abroad in Japan. At first, I didn't care for it. I thought they were from Britain. I thought the guy was a bit of a goof. I didn't like some of his earlier stuff, but I do like some of his later stuff, and they do have a podcast. Anyways, his recent video that came out today, and they were talking about how China was making robots. Everybody makes robots. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike, but they've created robots that can take out their own battery, that they can do stuff, and they got really lifelike human movements now. as it snowballs a 1 strike to Tanaka. As they check the runner at second and now deliver, there's a fastball in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-1. Well, it reminds me when I was in Chiba a couple of years ago, I went and watched the Marines play the Lions, and there was a mall not too far from where you would catch the train. And I went into this restaurant, and they had a robot waiter would come up, or would deliver you the food anyway. And it would pre-programmed, it would come over, and then you would stop, and you get to pick all your food off that you'd ordered. And then he would go away. It was kind of funny. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the pitch is a fastball that misses down, it goes to 2-1 on Tanaka. So that is obviously where we're potentially heading, is with all of this AI stuff and robots and different things and programming. I would expect us to see more of it, as the 2-1 pitch is ready to come again. As the right-hander checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball misses down and away, and it's now 3 balls and a strike. So 3 balls and a strike. So Yu Hirasawa on in relief. The starter for the Swallows went 4 innings. That was Matsumoto, and he gave up 3 runs. So expect a lot of fireworks in this one. They're only going to play 9 innings. They don't go extras. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. It's now 3-2 to Tanaka. 3 balls and 2 strikes. When this half inning is over, we are going to put the music on loop, as they like to take an extended break in between the 5th and the 6th innings. 3-2 on the way. It's a split finger pitch, misses down. That's going to be ball 4 to Tanaka. He's going to get himself a walk. And that is going to bring Seiji Ubiashi to the plate. So maybe a 9-2 lead is not big enough for the Swallows. So we got a conference on the mound here, as the right-hander has been given some words of encouragement, as the defense came in to talk over what they were going to do here. So Seiji Ubiashi at the plate. He has popped out to third, and he has lined to second. But the meat of the order is set to come to bat here, as it's on deck is Seiho Sakawa and then Miguel Sano to follow. So the right-hander Matsumoto holds to the set. Now he delivers. There is a fastball swung on. This is belted into right field. It's going to get into the corner. It's down for a base hit. It's going to be extra bases, and runs are going to score. As the throw comes on back in, the throw to the plate takes about 15 hops, and it is going to score Tanaka all the way from first. It's going to be a triple off the bat of Ubiashi. The outfield had been playing in, and he had scorched that ball into the right field corner, and he is able to come around and played a couple of runs, and that has cut the lead to 9-5. So a 2-run triple for Ubiashi. It's going to bring Seiho Sakawa to the plate. My cool hook says we need you. I can't replace him. Yeah, unfortunately, though, I think everything might be replaced in the future. Interesting world that we live in, that's for sure. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball, and that is taken for a called strike to Hosokawa. Looked like it might have been a little inside, but no balls and 1 strike to the big fella. Batting from the right side here, as the right-hander Hirasawa kicks and fires. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. Well, it's the triple-digit number on his back. He is a training player, and definitely he has got a lot of training to do here, as he has let the Dragons back into this. It's now 9-5. As the 1-1 pitch is forthcoming. Nobody out still here in the 5th. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into left center field. Racing over is Iwata. He's there to make the catch. Tagging at third and heading home. The throw to the plate is offline. It's going to be a sacrifice fly to the center fielder. Hosokawa is going to get himself an RBI. Into scores Ubiashi, and that's going to cut the scoreline to 9-6. That is the first out of the inning. It'll bring up Miguel Sano to the plate. So Miguel Sano, well, he's 2 for 2 tonight. He is homered and he's doubled. He's scored a couple of runs and he's driven in a couple of runs. As he comes to the plate here, the first pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. 96 miles an hour out of the right-hander here. He can really bring it up. I am interested, as we were talking about this a little bit, I am interested in seeing China. I never really had the interest in previous times. There's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 1-1. But just fascinated to hear everything I hear what's going on. I want to see it with my own eyes. And my parents were there over 30 years ago, and I can only imagine what they would think if they saw it today. Fastball misses inside, and the count is 2-1. All the cities are modern, clean. The electric vehicles, I'm not saying electric is the be-all and the end-all, but just how they have transformed themselves from a rural, backward country to cutting-edge country. There's a split-finger pitch that swung on and missed, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Not only is Demon Slayer working on algorithms, he's also working on wine recipes. That's a great thing. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lifted into straightaway center field. Iwata took a step back, and now he's camped under it. He makes the catch, and Sanao is going to be retired for the first time tonight. So he's gone for the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring up Hiroki Fukunaga. And for Fukunaga, well, he is 1 for 2. He's got a double, an RBI, and 2 trips. He's also grounded back to the pitcher. 9-6, the Swallows have the lead. There's a fastball swung on. This is going to be lined into right field for a base hit. And Fukunaga is going to stop at first with a single, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter into Shikiabe. Abe. So Abe coming to the plate. He's 1 for 2 in this one, a single and 2 trips. He's also struck out. I was saying earlier he was a one-time Chunichi Dragon. That's where he began his career, and then he ended up in a Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles uniform for the past few seasons. But he is back again at the age of 36. Pitch on the way, fastball down, good stop. They're going to try to go backdoor, and they got the runner picked off over at first base. Oh, Fukunaga got a little bit too far, and he is going to be picked off. It is going to be 2-3 on the putout, and that is going to do it here in the 5th inning. Well, the Dragons, they stick 3 more runs on the board. They had 3 runs on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We're moving to the 6th inning. It looks like we're going to have another pitching change here. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. I'm going to put the music on loop. I appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. Is what we like to call our Japanese halftime, as we are waiting for the sixth inning to restart. 9-6 is the scoreline, as the Swallows have the lead here. There is going to be a pitching change, as the Chunichi Dragons look to be going to their bullpen, as they are going to be using their what appears to be their third pitcher of the night. There are some changes, and we'll have to catch that up for you, especially in the exhibition season as they start to come to bat. We'll get you that change here in just a couple of moments. We see Orlando Calixte is in. We see Jason Vossler is in. And we see other changes in the lineup. And the first pitch is a fastball that swung on and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1. The new pitcher in the ball game is Konosuke Fukuda. As the left-hander delivers, there's a fastball that misses down and in. The count goes to 1-1 on Ito. So the third pitcher used so far here for the Dragons. And the 1-1 pitch is ready to come. I would expect a parade between now and the end of this ball game, but you never know. As that fastball misses in, and it is now 2 balls and a strike. As the left-hander Fukuda delivers, it's a fastball that misses down. And the count now goes to 3 balls and a strike. So here we go. Lefty ready to go again. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into straightaway center field. Over and there to make the catch is Okabayashi, and that's going to retire Ito for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone. It is going to bring up the catcher in Yudai Koga. We were saying about the game that is going on between Samurai Japan and the Czechs. 0-0 as they are in the bottom of the 4th inning. Czechs, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. Japan, no runs, 3 hits, no errors. I was having a conversation with one of my Japanese customers, fastball ticket for called strike, and I was saying how I just don't like the way the Samurai Japan team is constructed. They've constructed it almost like an American League team in the major leagues. They have very little creativity outside of some power in the lineup, as there's a breaking ball taken for a strike. Sosuke Genda used to run well. He doesn't run as well as he used to. That's really the only player in the lineup, at the starting lineup, I should say, that's got some speed. They have options off the bench, but I don't know if I like their lineup. I don't think they can beat you in different ways other than a power game. There's a breaking ball that's swung on and fouled away. And so they're, trying to play in the style of what we would see with the Latins or the Americans at this point. And so it's what I like to call all or nothing baseball. They're not going to be able to manufacture runs. So I'm curious to see how it's going to play out when you're expecting your big stars to drop bunts and nickel and dime. Breaking ball misses outside, count is 1-2. When the game is on the line, are you going to be able to do the little things when that's needed? And I don't know if they've got enough balance in that lineup to do it. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, and it's lined foul into the seats down the right field line, and it keeps the count at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. But they do have the pitching, and that is important. You can't win games if you can't pitch, and certainly Samurai Japan, if I had to put the needle into that spot, they definitely have got the arms. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and fouled off of the hitter as it trickles down the third baseline right on the ground and on his back. It's actually, I hate to make light of it, but the catcher, Koga, as he went down, he landed right on the chalk line, and it's got this, he looks like a skunk on the back. He's got the white line right down the middle of his back. But boy, he's got to be in a little bit of pain. It's going to keep the count at 1-2 to him. Trainer came out to see him. He walks it off, and it looks like he's going to be okay. So we'll see how this all shapes up again here. As the pitch on the way, it is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Our friend Demon Slayer says he used grok to make a great mushroom gravy. Be interesting. You could do a video. You could ask for a recipe from grok, from ChatGPT, from Copilot, and see which one gives you the best. There's a ground ball hit over to third. It is fielded by the Dragons' third baseman, who fires to first, and that is going to retire Koga on a ground out 5-3. I say the third baseman because there has been some changes. Fukunaga, his day is done. Just not sure where in the lineup. As we said, Orlando Calixte is also in the ballgame as well. So a couple of changes here for the Dragons. I do believe, in fact, I don't know who that was who made the play over there. I thought I would be able to locate it, but not so much right now. We'll have to see. Well, it might have been Ishikawa now in at third. First pitch to Osuna was swung on a missed. Count is 0-1. Osuna's had a tough day at the office. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Pitch on the way is a fastball down, but the home plate umpire says Osuna went around. It's now 0-2. Demon Slayer says when he passes away, he wants to be smothered in mushroom gravy. Starting to sound good just thinking about it. Here's the 0-2. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. The only thing I think of where I've had mushroom gravy on something has been on my schnitzel. Mushroom gravy on top of schnitzel, I can eat that all day long. So 1-2 strikes it is as Osuna waits on the offering, and the pitch on the way. Fastball just misses inside and not by much. That's going to run the count to 2-2. That was a good spot there by the reliever Fukuda. He did not get the love from the home plate umpire. It's set up inside, and then they nailed it. As the 2-2 pitch is ready to come here. As on its way, and as a fastball down. Nice stop there by the catcher, and that's going to run the count to 3-2. There's a place near where I live here. It used to be a Czech, owned by Czechs, but it's a German restaurant. And they specialize in schnitzel. It's A1. It is the best. But outside of here, the best schnitzel I've had in the States probably would have been in Milwaukee at Mater's. If you're in Milwaukee, be sure to check out Mater's. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded over to short. Fielded by Yamamoto, he takes a couple of hops, he fires to first, and that is going to retire Osuna on a ground out 6-3. And that is going to do it here. The Swallows all of a sudden now have become very quiet. 8 in a row retired by Dragons pitching. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is a 9-6 game. We'll come back and talk more about schnitzel and gravy sauce when we get back after this. We appreciate our friend Demon Slayer for hanging in and keeping it light. We're back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change. It is going to be Noboru Shimizu who is coming on in relief. And it looks like we have a new catcher now here for the Swallows as well. So as we mentioned, we'll have to get caught up on some of this here in just a couple of moments. Also some positional changes as well as they do start to empty the benches in the back half of the ballgame. That's what I was talking about. Normally, when you have these exhibition games, how do you run them? Sometimes it's difficult. You don't know who's subbing in and when, because they're really basically it's a tale of a couple of games. So Noboru Shimizu on in relief. And slated to come to bat here for the Dragons is supposed to be Abe, Yamamoto, and Mia. Although I have to say, sometimes the home teams will extend the play of their players. First pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Our friend Demon Slayer says he's supposed to do things tomorrow. Well, mushroom gravy will take precedence. There's a fastball swung on. It's on the fists. Popped up over towards the second baseman, who that is Akihara, who is going to haul that one in, and that is going to retire Abe for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up, or slated to bring up Yasuhiro Yamamoto, and that's who it will still be. Yamamoto coming to the plate. He's grounded into a double play, and he has walked in his 2 trips to the plate, but he's made some sparkling plays defensively for the Dragons in this one. As the first pitch is on the way, there's a split figure pitch swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Yamamoto batting from the right side here. Digging himself in, waiting on the offering here from Shimizu, who holds to the set, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that swung on and tap foul over on the third base side, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. As we said, we are keeping an eye on the Samurai Japan game as well, as that game is now in the top of the 5th inning, and they're still locked at zeros. Japan has got 5 hits in the game. The Czechs have 2. I don't know if I would have picked the under on that one, no matter what the line was. 0-2 on the way. Fastball misses up and in, and the count goes to 1-2 on Yamamoto. So ball and 2 strikes. Shimizu getting his sign. Now he's ready to go back to work as he works himself to the set. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander resets himself. Shakes off his catcher. Now he gets the sign that he likes. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and Yamamoto is gone for the second out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the catcher in Taisi Mia. Yeah, my cool hook says Japan and Czechia scoreless in the 5th. Yeah, it's in the top of the 5th with Czechia batting. They've got 2 hits. The Japanese have 5. Takahashi is on the hill right now for the Japanese. There's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul down the left field line, and the count is 0-1 to Mia. Our friend Demon Slayer says he's got to wave the white flag and throw in the towel. He's going to tap out tonight. Well, maybe we'll see you tomorrow. We should be back on the airwaves again for the same 2 teams. Fastball swung on, it is chopped. Back to the pitcher. They're going to have to hurry. They throw to first. Oh, that's a nice play. Nice play there by the pitcher. He had to go Shimizu over his glove side shoulder to make the play because it was in no man's land, and then he had to throw off balance to first, and that is able to get Mia for the 3rd out of the inning. Goes as a ground out 1-3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 6 complete innings. It is the Dragons who are trailing the Swallows 9-6. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Appreciate you, Demon Slayer. We'll follow up with you later with a couple emails. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit. We got a scoreline of 9-6 for the Swallows. It has been a slugfest here tonight, and we'll be back in just a few with all your action right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. Slated to come to bat will be Domingo Santana, Yasuhiro Akahara, and Keigo Kitamura, as the lefty is still on the mound. Fukuda for the Chunichi Dragons. The first pitch delivered to Santana as a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. 19 pitches in the first inning of work for the left-hander. As Fukuda delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count goes to even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It's been an interesting ball game. 9-2, the Swallows jumped out to the early lead. The Dragons have battled back to cut it to a 3-run deficit as there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away at home plate. The count is 1-2. I was saying earlier, and even when Mike Cool Hooks was saying about the over-under was 6.5, and I'm like, exhibition game, these two teams here, their runs could pile up in a big hurry. I'm sure that over-under has changed a pile of times since the game has become with the invention of the live betting. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Santana is been aboard with a walk, but he's 0 for 2 tonight in this one so far, as the 2-2 pitch was ready to go. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted down the right field line, but it's going to slice into the seats foul. Yeah, I wouldn't. We were talking about this the other night on the stream. We were saying about how, the NPB, generally speaking, doesn't produce a lot of runs. There's a fastball that just misses down, and the count goes to 3-2. I don't think the pitcher particularly liked that one. I got to tell you, that was a pretty good pitch. I don't know if it certainly wasn't down. So here comes the 3-2 pitch as Fukuda ready to deliver again on its way. Fastball swung on, and the ball is taken on one hop by the shortstop. Yamamoto fields it, fires to first, and that is going to retire Santana on a ground out 6-3. So 1 in the books. That is going to bring up Yasuhiro Akahane. And it's no longer Yamamoto at short. Looks like they have made a defensive change over there. Have the Dragons. It looks like that it is Kaito Muramatsu who is in the game. As the pitch is a breaking ball that misses inside. Count is 1 ball and no strikes to Akahane. Kahane is 0 for 2 today. He has walked and scored a run, but struck out and grounded out in his other 2 trips. Breaking ball misses up and in, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Lefty again ready to go back to work as he kicks and delivers. Fastball misses down and in. It's now 3-0. So Fukuda has fallen behind here. And he's really had the battle. Even in the last inning, he was always having to struggle. As we said, he threw 19 pitches in his first inning. He's already thrown 10 here in this inning. 3-0 on the way. Fastball swung on. Green light did Akahane get, and he fouls that one away. Count is 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Lefty gets a new ball, ready to go again. As Naga delivers, there is a fastball that misses, or Fukuda delivers, misses upstairs. That's going to be ball 4. Looked like he got his cleats caught. He almost fell over. And that is going to bring Kaigo Kitamura to the plate. One thing I was going to ask, when we have a larger stream, I'm going to ask, or I was actually thinking about putting up polls on who people think are decent announcers, but that can be subjective because a lot of people are homers. A lot of people will like certain announcers or styles, current ones, old ones. Stepping into bat here is Kaigo Kitamura. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Kitamura tonight, officially 2 for 3. He's got a single, a double. He's struck out looking, and he scored a couple of runs. As the lefty ready to go again. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball down, and the count goes even to 1-1. And to think about it, too, just as a different piece to this, the game between the Czechs and Japan, which is now in the bottom of the fifth, by the way, still locked at zeros. That game started an hour after this one, and they're already in the fifth inning. We're in the seventh, and it's been 2 hours and 20 minutes in the books. So that game is at a much quicker pace. If I would have known that, I wonder if that game will end before this one. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as the lefty holds to the set. Now delivers. Fastball comes inside and just misses. It's now 2 balls and a strikes to Kitamura. So 2-1 here. Runner at first is Akahane. Suzuki waiting his turn on deck. Swallows enjoying this 9-6 lead. As they throw over to first base and diving back is the runner. Calixte picks the ball. Our friend Samurai Prayer earlier on said that the Dragons do a good job of identifying quality players. Calixte has been with them for a few seasons, and I'm still trying to figure out why. I don't know what exactly he brings to the mix. Would have thought there would have been a better upgrade than for him. There's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2 on Kitamura. I would have thought that he would have maybe seen things a little bit differently. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as the lefty gets the sign, and now he works himself to the set position. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. Like the runner was on the move from first base. Looked like Akahane was in motion there on that pitch as they try to stay out of the double play. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Kitamura. And he was right on it. He found that one straight back. Here's the 2-2. Fastball misses way upstairs, and the count now goes to 3-2. Well, let's see if they put the runner in motion again to stay out of the double play. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Japan has a runner at second with 1 gone in their game versus Czechia. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there goes the runner. It's swung on, it is popped up foul, and it's going to reach its way into the seats behind home plate, and the count remains at 2-2. Interesting. As the starter Satoria, who had the number of the Japanese before, he is doing wonders again to them here. Although he won't have a chance to strike out Otani tonight, he's not in the lineup as of now. There's a fastball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4. And Kitamura is going to be aboard with a walk. So back-to-back walks here issued by Fukuda. So runners at first and second here with 1 gone. It is going to bring Kyo Suzuki to the plate. Looking at the Czech Republic, or Czechia, I guess as they call it now. I said it's in the bottom of the 5th inning. That's Morishita is at the plate. The Samurai Japan are looking for a run or more. They have the runner at second in scoring position with 1 gone. So this is going to bring Suzuki to the plate. as Fukuda works himself to the set position. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses up and away. Ball and no strikes. I think the Dragons might want to get their bullpen going. Suzuki has 2 for 3. He's got a single. He's homered, and he is lined to short. He scored a pair of runs, and he's driven in 3 in this one. So he's been in on half of the runs. There's a fastball swung on. This is lined down the right field line. And over to field it is the right fielder of the Dragons, who fires a one-hop shot to the plate. Oh, and that kept the runner over there as well. So Suzuki, he's got himself a single. He hit that ball right on the screws. As we take a look at that one there, they had the ball had come down. I see it right there as they had the right fielder positioned really well. So Suzuki aboard with a base hit. Bases are now full of Swallows. It is going to bring the center fielder Iwata to the plate, and it's going to bring the Dragons defense back in again. So Iwata, who is 1 for 3, batting from the left side here as the first pitch on the way, is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. This ball is going to be trouble. As the outfield was in, it goes all the way into the wall. That's going to clear the bases. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. And heading to third is Iwata with a triple, and it clears the bases of Swallows. And now the score is 12-6. That's the second time that happened. They brought the outfield in, they brought everybody in, and then he drove a ball over somebody's head. And the next thing you know, 3 RBIs later, Swallows have a pile of runs on the board. 12-6, they now have the lead. Our friend Mike Cool Hooks, who was in here, I'm not sure what the over-under is now, but we got to be approaching somewhere around the 20 mark. And that's going to slated to bring up the top of the order in Shu Masuda. And we do have a pinch runner over at third base. They've got one of the training players is now in. I didn't catch the number. We'll see if Masuda is still coming to bat here. Yeah, it is. It's still Masuda. He is officially 1 for 4 tonight. He's got a double and 4 trips. He's also bounced into a fielder's choice and driven in a run. He's come around to score a pair as well. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down. Count is 1-0. For Mike Cool Hooks says he wish he would have put more. It looks like the training, his last name is Montel. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 2-0. It's now 2 out in the bottom of the 5th inning with Japan with a runner at second base. As Teriyaki Sato is now hitting, but they have a pitching change due to the checks. Fastball misses outside. Count goes now to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Lefty works himself to the belt. And the 3-0 pitch on the way is a fastball that misses up and away. It's going to be ball 4. So Masuda is going to get himself a base on balls. That's going to put runners at the corners with 1 gone. And it's slated to bring up the shortstop in Rui Ito. But before that happens, the pitching coach is on a full sprint to the mound as he wants to come out and have a word with Fukuda. As it looks like it is not going to be a change yet. He's going to talk it through with them. We'll keep our eyes peeled for changes for the Swallows. They haven't gone to their bench yet, at least in my piece. We do see, other than the pinch runner at third base, and we were saying that his number where he's at, I don't know if I've got anything here in terms of development players with that number. As I'm looking through my roster here, I'll have to take a look at the NPB site, as he is wearing a triple-digit number that starts with a 1, I do believe. So here comes the first offering with the runners at the corners. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away. The count is 1-0 Fukuda now up to 47 pitches, 19 in his first inning of work. And now he is approaching 30 here in this inning. As the lefty delivers again, fastball swung on, grounded up the middle. They go to second for one, back to first. Oh, that's a timely double play. That is going to be of the 4-6-3 variety, and that is going to get the Dragons out of this one here, as Ito is going to be retired for the back end of that one, as Masuda was retired at second base. Well, they got 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. And there was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we now move to the bottom of the 7th. It is a 12-6 Swallows lead. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after our rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, right after this break. We'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. Slated to come to bat is the top of the order in Okabayashi, then Tanaka, then Ubiashi, but we'll be taking a look to see if there are any changes. It does look like Okabayashi and Tanaka still here. Going to get their at-bats in inning number 7. It is a 12-6 lead here for the Swallows, and it has been pretty much their game to control here tonight as they jumped out to a 9-2 lead. So as they come to bat here in the bottom half of inning number 7, as we are ready to resume the action, in the first pitch on the way as the right-hander kicks and delivers, and it's going to be a fastball that misses down. We do have a pitching change. As now on to pitch for the Swallows is number 44, Hiroki Onishi. So on in relief. Wearing number 4, Reggie Jackson's number in the big leagues in Major League Baseball. But not in Japan. As that fastball misses down, it is now 2 balls and no strikes to Okabayashi. Okabayashi tonight is 2 for 3. A single and a double in 3 trips. As the right-hander again holds to the set. Now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that take it for a called strike at the belt. I don't know if Okabayashi likes that. He stared out, and then he looks back at the home plate umpire like, are you for real? That pitch looked like it was a little bit up. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to get lined right to the second baseman. Oh, Okabayashi hit the ball hard. He's not going to be very happy. It didn't find anything. He is going to be gone for the first out of the inning, and that is going to bring Mikiya Tanaka to the plate. Couldn't hit the ball harder than that. So Tanaka is officially 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out, grounded out. He has walked and scored a run to get a base hit. Here comes the offering from Onishi, the right-hander, and there's a fastball that just misses up. The count is 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. 8 for 18 exhibition play is Tanaka. He came into the ball game batting .500. There's a fastball that misses up, and the count now goes to 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Right-hander again holds himself at the belt, and the 2-0 pitch forthcoming. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on and lifted, foul down the right field line, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Right-hander again holding to the set. Here comes the offering as he kicks and delivers. The 2-1 on the way. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Goes to 2-2 on Tanaka. Just checking back in on that game where you're now going to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is still 0-0 with the Czechs and Japan. Very interesting. As the 2-2 pitch forthcoming here from Onishi. He kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on. It is dunked out of the dirt, but that ball is going to be lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count remains at 2-2 to Tanaka. No runs, 6 hits, no errors for Japan. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Czechs. That is the storyline there as they move to the bottom of the 6th inning. I can only imagine what the fans are going to be like in the stands. They're probably grumbling big time, I would have to think, as the 2-2 is ready to come here. Onishi kicks and delivers. Fastball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Not exactly the send-off that you want to have. Getting carved up by the Czech pitching. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Onishi kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is going to be lifted into shallow right field, coming over and toward the foul line and making the catch in foul territory is the right fielder Masuda, and that is going to retire Tanaka for the 2nd out of the inning. It is slated to bring Seiji Ubiashi to the plate, but I think his day might be done. We'll have to pick it up here to see who they have brought in instead. No, it's still Ubiashi. He is still hanging in the game. I thought his night might have been over. Ubiashi is 1 for 3. He tripled home a pair of runs in the 5th inning. Later came around and scored himself as the pitch from Onishi is on the way. It's a breaking ball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander again leaning in as he rocks himself into the set position. Here comes the 1-0. Kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Ubiashi batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Onishi. The Swallows pitchers seem to have settled back down again. They have retired in a row here. It is, by my count, 8 in a row now. There's a split-finger pitch that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Ubiashi. I was saying Ubiashi, I don't want to call him a great find, but he was a good acquisition by the Dragons. He wasn't getting a chance to play regular in Fukuoka. He was kind of a part-time player. And coming to the Dragons, boy, he has really blossomed. 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. The count remains at 1-2. That happens sometimes. You see players, they just can't really find their niche, can't find their way. I mean, when he was playing for Fukuoka, you had, now I don't even know if they had Kondo, but when they brought in Kondo, it kind of spelled the end for him. They had Yanagita. Friend the Chave says he just woke up and settling in for this one. The Swallows winning And it all feels like the prank. Yeah. Oh, you welcome you into the stream. Thanks for popping in. 1-2 pitch on the way. And the prank for you might be that Samurai Japan is tied with the Czechs going into the 6th. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Kobayashi's gone on strikes. He's gone for out number 3, and that's going to do it here in the 7th inning. As the Dragons go in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change, and we'll get that for you when we come back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We're right back in just a little bit. Hang tight, everybody. Everybody, if you're a fan of the Swallows, you got to take your wins when you can get them. And that is exactly what is happening here in this one tonight, as it is a 12-6 lead as they go to the top of the 8th inning. We were talking a little bit about this earlier. I think that the Swallows have definitely, I can't see them finishing higher than 6th, which is last place in the Central League. And it's going to be a tough and long year for those birds. But we'll see how that goes. We do have a pitching change as the Dragons are going to go to Kento Fujishima as he is coming on in relief. He'll be the 4th pitcher used by the Dragons in this one. So Fujishima on in relief. And he is slated, or he's supposed to face Koga, Osuna, and Santana. I believe Koga's night is done. We'll have to get you that here in just a moment. As we've been struggling a little bit tonight with the who's been catching and who hasn't. There's been some defensive changes for the Dragons. Always popular number 217 is now in the outfield. I don't have a number on that one yet. So we've got coming to the plate here, instead of catcher Koga, it is number 60. This is a pinch hitter here. It is Ryusi Takioka. So he is coming to bat here for Koga. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and missed, and it's quickly 0-2 here. So 2 balls and no strikes. We'll have to see if he ends up staying in the game. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses upstairs, and they peel over to the third base umpire, but they say that if he didn't go, it's going to run the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Also looks like it is the end of the line for Osuna, as there's a fastball swung on and it's missed. Dropped by the catcher. He's going to have to get up and throw to first. That's going to be a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and that is, as we said, supposed to bring up Jose Osuna, but it looks like it's Haruto Tanaka. We'll get confirmation of that here in just a moment. Chief says if the Swallows don't finish last, he'll eat his keyboard. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be chowing down on that anytime soon. First pitch fastball delivered to Tanaka, and it's swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-1. His first at bat of the evening for the 19-year-old. Batting from the left side. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on. It has popped up over on the right side of the infield. Moving over underneath it, and room to make the catch is the second baseman for the Dragons, new second baseman. So that is going to retire Tanaka for out number 2. As I said, there's all kinds of changes that have gone on here, and we're trying to catch up to them as they do come about. As it is supposed to be Domingo Santana, but it's definitely not Santana. As the first pitch is a fastball that misses up, and the count is 1-0. This would be Ryuto Nishimura getting his first at bat of the ball game. The pitch is a fastball that swung on, and it saws off the bat, but he's going to ground it through the 4-hole into right field. So Nishimura, the bat almost went as far as the ball, it seemed. The ball, it was really interesting the way it busted too. Like it looked like a sword in his hand, and the rest of the bat, the other half, ended up flying out towards second base where he'd hit the ball. So he's aboard with a 2-out single. And slated to come to bat is Yasuhiro Akahane, but we'll see if Akahane is coming in. It is still going to be Akahane. He's officially 0 for 2 tonight. He has walked twice. Fastball misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. We were talking earlier on our goal this year. We mentioned that before. Our friend Chris in Great Britain was commenting. We said we want to try to do 150 games this year. Fastball misses down, and the count is 2-0. Well, certainly with the World Baseball Classic, with the exhibition games that we've called so far, we're off and running. I think this is our 16th game already called. We haven't got to the regular season yet. And I figure we'll probably get ourselves another 10 to 15 before the opening day. Fastball misses down, and the count now goes to 3-0 on Akahane. So that is a lofty goal at 150. More importantly, if I can get to that mark, if I can get about 30 games or more lopped off, it gives me 6 months to do about 20 a month, and that's what our target's going to be. We'll mix in some major league games this year as well. 3-0 pitch on the way. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. Akahane is going to get himself a walk. Advancing to second is Nishimura. It's slated to bring Kitamura to the plate. We'll see if that is going to bring him up to bat. Just have to wait and see here if he will be coming to the dish or if the Swallows are going to the bench. And it is going to be Kaigo Kitamura. He has been aboard 3 times tonight. He's got a single, a double, he's walked, and he has struck out. He's come around to score 3 of the runs for the Swallows. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. So the right-hander Fujishima got the first 2 outs of the inning, and now he's got himself in a little bit of trouble. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-1. So a ball and a strike. So the right-hander ready to go back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher, and he's working himself into the set position. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way, fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2 on Kitamura. We've been keeping tabs on that game between the Czechs and Japan. It's now the top of the 7th. And they're still locked at 0s. So if you took the over in that game, you might be a little disappointed. There's a fastball swung on and going to be lifted foul down the right field line into the seats. The count remains at 1-2. I was commenting the other night when we were watching Samurai Japan when they stuck 13 on the board against Chinese Taipei, had that 10-run inning, and then they scored 3, and then it was just quiet. It was like all or nothing, and that seems to be the way that team is built. We're going to play for a big inning, and then there's nothing for innings on end. So I wonder what everybody's going to say about that one. There's a fastball that misses down. count goes to 2-2. Tell you, if I paid money to watch that, if I was a fan of the Samurai Japan national team, I'd be pretty disappointed. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Kitamura as he waits on the offering from Fujishima, as Fujishima holds to the set position. And the 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on. It's going to be pop foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. And the count remains at 2s. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. And that game is, as we said, it's moving quick. Our game here, we are in the top of the 8th inning. That game started an hour after ours, and they are in the top of the 7th with 2 out. So they're 1 frame behind us. 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, lifted into shallow center field, backing up on it and making the catch as the Dragons' second baseman, and that is going to do it. Fujishima is able to wiggle his way out of that jam, and he gets out of the inning. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning, it is a 12-6 lead for the Swallows. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments after this timeout. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay tuned. More action to follow. We're just getting caught up here. The Swallows look like they are going to another pitcher. It is going to be Tomoya Hoshi who's going to be taking over here. So Hoshi on in relief. And by our counts, that is going to be the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Swallows. As it looks like also the Dragons are going to be sending a pinch hitter to hit here for Seiho Sakawa. We'll have to get caught up on all this. There's been all kinds of changes. So there's going to be number 66 coming to bat. And that would be Kosuke Ukai. And the first pitch to Ukai is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. He came up with and swinging right out of the dugout. And that is going to be a single here. So nice job by him as he is aboard with a leadoff hit. And it is slated to bring up Miguel Sano in the batting order, but we know that I do believe Sano's day is done. I think it's Orlando Calixte who is in the spot here, but we'll wait and see and just confirm if that was indeed the straight-up switch. It is Orlando Calixte coming into bat. This is his first at bat. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble. Back on the track, and then adjusting and making the catch is the right fielder Masuda, and that is going to be a long out here. Boy, Calixte sent it for a ride, just not far enough. As that is going to be, he's going to be retired for the first out of the inning. And I know that Fukunaga's day is done. We just have to see who is coming up to bat here. And it is going to be Takeya Ishikawa. So it is Ishikawa who is in the lineup spot for him. And the first pitch to Ishikawa is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is no balls and 1 strike to him. Ishikawa's first at bat of the evening as the right-hander works himself to the belt. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball just below the knees. Count is 1-1. We were talking the other night during that game in the World Baseball Classic about some of the umpiring that was a little bit to be desired. I said I wanted to see if we could find the umpires' scorecards if they were doing it for the Classic. I didn't actually go and take a look. I'd like to do that. But if we were doing it tonight for the home plate umpire here, it would definitely be in spring training mode. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. But a lot of dicey calls tonight that the players have reacted on, and we've reacted on too, because the pitches looked like they were decent, and then some pitches looked like they weren't. And the calls were being made. Well, Samurai Japan has a runner at first with nobody out in the 7th. There's a ground ball hit over to third. They go to second for 1, back to first. It's not going to be in time. It's going to erase Sukai on a fielder's choice, 5-4. He's gone for the second out of the inning. Safe at first is Ishikawa on that back end. So he is safe over at first. It's slated to bring up the designated hitter, Toshiki Abe. We're going to see if Abe will get a chance to swing the bat or if the Dragons will continue the parade to the bench. Runner at first gets his lead. They're not holding him on here. And it is not going to be Abe. It is going to be a pinch hitter. As the first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the pinch hitter here is number 35. This is Takuya Kinoshita. Kinoshita getting the day off behind the plate. The veteran catcher for the Dragons. Here comes the offering. It's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul, and now he's in the hole at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kinoshita. As I said, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow. Same time, same channel, same 2 teams. And I'll have to take a look. I think on the weekend we are eyeballing the possibility. I think it's the Dragons and the Hawks, but I'll have to do a double check on that if that is indeed this weekend. There's a fastball that misses down. Nice stop there by the catcher of the Swallows, and it's going to run the count to 1-2. We'll make our decision, put up our schedule kind of right now on a nightly basis. I would like to try to squeeze in the game between Canada and Cuba on Thursday. I think Canada plays Puerto Rico tomorrow, and I guess Puerto Rico's already punched its ticket, and it doesn't matter what happens there, win or lose. Canada has to beat Cuba, I guess. Fastball down, another good stop. Count goes to 2-2. I think that's the case. If they beat Cuba, then they go through. Canada's only played 2 games in the tournament. I have to go back and take a look. I don't know what that situation calls for. Canada had beaten Colombia, and they lost to Panama. I think Panama ends up at 1-3, so that would be where that is. There's a fastball swung on his tap back to the pitcher. He bobbled it twice. Thank goodness it's Kinoshita running. He's playing basketball with it. He was trying to pick it up. It's going to be a ground out 1-3. Either that or a hot potato. And that is going to retire the Dragons here in the 8th inning. No runs in the inning. They did get a hit. There was no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We're now through 8 complete innings. Your score is, it is going to be the Swallows with a 12-6 lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Appreciate you guys for hanging in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back and give you the call in just a couple of moments right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is a score line of 12-6 for the Swallows. Stick around. We'll be back in just a few after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is supposed to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat. Fujishima is still on the mound, as they do have a hitter that's in place. It is no longer Kyo Suzuki, as it is number 65 at the plate, and that is, I'm not sure who it is. Well, it is Suzuki still at the plate. He hits a ground ball over to third. It's going to be fielded, and he's going to be retired on the first pitch he sees. It's going to be a ground out, 5-3. So one pitch and one away here, and that is going to bring up the center fielder, slated break the center fielder, Yukihiro Iwata. Keeping our eyes on the possibility of changes. And Iwata's day is done, as we do have the pinch hitter. This is Montel. This is 0-24. We were saying about who the possibility of the players are that would come in for the Swallows. So 0, it's like 0-24. I love the triple digit numbers. Fastball misses down. It's down 2-0. And it just goes by Montel. Can't tell you any more information on that. I thought you had to be good to have one name. This guy's a training player, and he's only got one name. 2-0 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. The count is now 2-1. Only Montel I know is Montel Jordan, a musical artist. I couldn't name you his tune. I just know the name. So 2 balls and 1 strike as he's batting from the right side here. As the right-hander Fujishima delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul down the right field line. And the count now goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 it is, as the right-hander ready to go again. It's the sign from his catcher, and he works to the belt. 2-2 on the way. Fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, I don't know what you're looking at, Montel. He's in the books for the second out of the inning, and it's slated to bring up the top of the order in Shu Masuda. Well, for Masuda, we'll see if it is going to be him or if it's going to be somebody to come to hit for him. As Fujishira, it is still Masuda. Masuda's been to the plate 5 times. He has walked twice. He's bounced into a fielder's choice and grounded out twice. Breaking ball misses down, and the count is 1-0. He's also scored a pair of runs and driven in a run. So he's had a eventful night on the base paths in the leadoff role. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that's going to miss upstairs, and the count goes to 2-0. Well, there is a possibility. I may, depending on what's going on in that Samurai Japan Czech game, it's in the top of the 8th. I don't really want to go over and do the back end of it. I actually have some work I got to do. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 2-1 on Masuda. But I might consider being able to stick around and give you a couple of calls on that one before we call it a night. Here's the 2-1. Fastball swung on it. Has popped up down the third base line, giving chase. As both the shortstop and third baseman of the Dragons, but it's going to reach the seats. It's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes to Masuda. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the pitcher Fujishima gets a new baseball ready to go back at it. 12-6, the Swallows have the lead here over the Dragons. As the 2-2 is on the way, there's a breaking ball, misses down and away. It's now 3-2. At this point, you almost want to just think about throwing cookies right down the middle. Got a 6-run cushion here. Or at least I should say the Swallows have a 6-run cushion. That's what I would think their pitchers want to do at the end of the ball game here. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball. It's check swing fouled away, and the count is 3-2. It remains. As far as the Dragons are concerned, you want to try to keep this going here. Interesting, Fujishima, his pants they're not Robbie Ray-esque, but they are a little bit tighter than we see from a lot of players these days. There's a fastball that's right down the middle, and it just misses low. It's going to be ball 4. There's that umpire who doesn't want to go home yet. You're in the 9th inning. You got 2 gone. Ring them up. Pitch was pretty close. But no, we got a Swallows base runner. But if you're a fan of the Swallows, you're pumping a fist. Maybe you get a couple more runs here. Slated to bring up Ito to the plate, the shortstop. We'll see if he is going to get his at-bat here or if the Swallows are going to go to the bench. And it is Ito here. He's had a busy night on the base paths as well. He's 3 for 5. Pitch on the way, fastball center cut for a called strike. Count is 0-1. He's singled twice. He's doubled. He's driven in a run and scored a run. So he has done his part in the offense here, but the tail of the tape has been the bottom half of the batting order. They've been scoring all the runs. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and now it's 0-2. So Fujishima ahead in the count. Going to the bottom of the 8th inning in Tokyo, still 0-0, Czechia and Japan. As the 0-2 on the way, there's a fastball down. They appeal over to the first base umpire. Up goes the right hand. They're going to tag Ito. He's going to be gone for out number 3, and that is going to do it here in the 9th inning for the Swallows. Well, we're going to see either one of the greatest exhibition comebacks, or it is going to be a Dragon victory a Swallow victory after the Dragons hit in the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left aboard here in the top of the 9th. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in the bottom of the 9th inning when we return. 12-6 is your score. The Swallows are in the lead. We'll be back in just a few after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
The bottom of the 9th is upon us, and the Swallows are going to their bullpen yet again, as they are going to be bringing out number 30, and that it is Kota Shoji, as he is on in relief. So he will be yet another pitcher used by them tonight. That is number 6. So Kota Shoji on in relief. as he is the sixth pitcher used. And slated to come to bat, well, looks like we have for the Dragons it in the spot of, it's supposed to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat. And it was the original spot by Yamamoto, but he was replaced by Kaito Muramatsu, and the first pitch to him was a ball down. The count is 1-0. So Kaito Muramatsu getting his first at bat in this one. And there's a fastball that misses down again, so it is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Left-hander ready to go back to work as Shoji kicks and fires. There's a fastball misses down. It is now 3 balls and no strikes. Interesting delivery by Shoji. He really tilts backwards and he comes right over the top. It's definitely a different look than you're accustomed to seeing. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. As they square to bunt, and that's going to be, pulls back, but it's a fastball that misses outside. And so Muramatsu is aboard with a leadoff walk, and that is going to bring supposed to bring the catcher Taisi Mia to the plate. Mia had finished a couple innings ago. We're going to get a chance to see who's going to get their first at bat here. So Muramatsu is the runner at first. 12-6, the Swallows are enjoying the lead here. As it is the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. This is number 0 up to bat here. This is Rintaro Sugimoto. As the pitch ready to come, so no balls and 1 strike. There's a fastball that's caught the outside corner, and the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Left-hander Shoji ready to deliver again as he checks the runner at first. 0-2 on the way. Pitch coming, fastball, check swing fouled into the seats over on the first base side. So a ball and 2 strikes it is. Bottom of the 8th inning, it is runner on first with 1 gone. And the checks are still hanging in there with Japan. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats down the right field line. Count remains at 1-2. I think no matter what the outcome is going to be in that game, I think Czechia probably is going to, whether they win or lose, is already considering this a win. I would have to think if they can get through this inning, then, it's probably, obviously a maximum they're going to be able to get is 4 runs. But 2 hits for Czechia, it probably sounds about right. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses upstairs. Count goes to 2-2. If I remember correctly, when the Czechs played Samurai Japan, was it 2 years ago? A couple of exhibition games. I think they were no hit and they got 2 hits, something like that. Or maybe there's no hit and 1 hit in back-to-back nights. Here's the 1-2 pitch. On its way, fastball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side. The count remains at 2-2 to Sugimoto. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Left-hander Shoji ready to go back to work. Here comes the 1-2 offering. Kicks and fires, fastball swung on and line foul down the right field line, and the battle's going to continue here. I've got this as the 7th, or got to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up here. I showed you ready to go again. He walked the first batter on 4 pitches. And pitch number 8 now coming here to the right-handed hitting Sugimoto, but now he's asked for time. He's going to step out. We're going to go through it again. I wonder how long until we see the pitch clock in the NPB. Obviously they're playing in the World Baseball Classic. Certainly not going to be this season, but I wonder if it's going to be on the table for 2027 or maybe beyond. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, waved at and missed, and that is going to retire Sugimoto. He's down on strikes for the first out of the inning, and it's slated to bring the top of the order in Okabayashi to the plate, but we know he's done for the night. So we just have to wait to see how the hitting replacement will play out here. Pretty sure that they had brought a training player in, but we're going to wait and see here. This is number 9 coming to the stick. No training player in this spot. But we're trying to get to see who the hitter is here in this particular piece, and I don't see anything at the moment. This is Yuta Ishii. We took a first pitch for a ball, and the second pitch is outside for ball 2. So this is his first at bat of the evening. So Yuta Ishii hitting for Okabayashi. That's 2 balls and no strikes. Swallows jumped out to an early 9-2 lead. Dragons battled back to make it 9-6. The Swallows added 3 more runs in the 7th inning, and that's kind of where it's been ever since. There's a fastball that misses up. It's now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Dragons pitching. It was their starter, Mura, got roughed up, and then Nero added to the fire. Breaking ball misses outside. It's going to be ball 4, so another walk on 4 pitches. Ishii aboard here. That's going to put runners at first and second. So the catcher out to the mound, and the whole defense is coming in to have a word with their reliever, Shoji. They've got to get 2 more outs to go here. It'll be easier said than done. So that conference is over. And it is going to bring a training player to the plate, the always popular 217. This is Eski McCamey, as he is batting here for Tanaka. And the pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1, so no balls and 1 strike to McCamey. McCamey batting from the left side. Dragons fans are still cheering in force. As the lefty holds to the set position, he checks the runner over at second. Now delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to McCamey. I always get a kick out of the triple-digit numbers. I was saying the other night was, I think the first time I saw it was, or at least picked up on it, was Richard Sunagawa when he was with the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks into the ball game. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Shoji made easy work of the pinch hitter McCamey. He's gone for the second out of the inning. It's slated to bring up Seiji Ubiashi, and that's exactly who will stride to the plate. Ubiashi tonight, he is officially 1 for 4. He tripled home a pair of runs in the 5th inning and then came around to score. He has struck out, he has popped out, and he has lined out. So 1 for 4 for the right fielder of the Dragons. So Shoji ready to deliver. First pitch on the way. Slow breaking ball. Grounded over to the right side. It's going to get through the 4-hole. Rounding third and heading home. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's not going to be in time. It gets away from the catcher all the way to the backstop. And everybody else is going to move up 90 feet. It is going to be a single and an RBI for Ubiashi. In this score comes Muramatsu. And on the throw, it is going to be Ubiashi going over to second as Chunichi makes his way around to third, so the Dragons have runners at second and third. Another run on the board here, so now it's 12-7. Well, I have a feeling the Swallows, we're going to be seeing a lot of that this year. And then the pitcher was in too close, backing up the play, and the ball had squirted away. I don't think they would charge an error on anybody there. I think the runners were going to advance. This is going to bring up to the plate. This is Kosuke Ukai. He is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled in the 8th inning when he came on for Seiya Hosokawa. So 1 ball and no strikes. Scoring has been plentiful in this one. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. It is now 1-0 for Samurai Japan in the bottom of the 8th. They got 2 on and 2 out against Czechia, so they have cashed in the first run. As the 2-0 pitch coming, Shoji takes a look at the runner at second, now delivers. There's a slow breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 2-1. I'm not familiar with Akai, but I'm going to tell you, he looks like he is all serious about hitting. He swung at the first pitch he saw coming out of the dugout in his first at-bat, blistered a ball to right field, and he is all business at the plate. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. On the way, it is a breaking ball missing down. Count is 3-1. They do have first base open, and Orlando Calixte is waiting his turn on deck. Well, as we said, it is they score early and often, and now Samurai Japan, it is Yukio Shudo, of all people, hit a 3-run homer, has extended the lead for Samurai Japan to 4-0. As the 3-1 pitch is on its way. Breaking ball, that's going to be missing upstairs for ball 4, and Akai is going to be aboard. That's going to load the bases here. And it's going to bring Orlando Calixte to the plate. So you got bases loaded. You got 2 gone. It's going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound. And you got the game-tying run on deck. So the Dragons want to keep the good times rolling here. Base hit here, and anything can happen. I wonder what the odds on the Dragons winning this game going to the bottom of the 9th inning would have been if you would have put $10 on it. Probably the astronomical. This brings Calixte to the plate. He flew out to right field his first time up. As the left-hander Shoji trying to finish the game off, and there's a fastball that's taken for a called strike on the outside corner. Count is 1-1 to Calixte. Outfield is pretty much in normal depth. Michael Hooks is saying game over. Well, we're going to find out here in a moment. I don't want to jump the gun on us. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball swung on, grounded over to short. They go to second. Oh, barely. Fielder's choice, and that is going to do it. As that is going to retire Ukai. He's in the books 6-4 for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Dragons in their half of the 9th. Well, they scored a run in the inning. There was 1 run in the inning on the benefit of only 1 hit. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. Your score, final score, the Swallows with a 12-7 victory. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments to wrap this one up for you on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys for hanging around with us tonight. It is a 12-7 victory for the Swallows. Come back. We're not going to give you the full rundown, but we will give you the scores from around the NPB, and then we'll wrap it up and call it a night. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to wrap this one up for you here tonight. It was basically early and often when the Swallows scored, they were able to get themselves 1 in the first, 4 in the second, and 3 in the third. A 2-run homer in the second by Miguel Sano helped the cause for the Dragons, but after 3 innings, the score at this point here was 8-2 for the Swallows. Swallows added another one in the fourth to make it 9-2. Dragons got one back to make it 9-3. The closest they came, Dragons scored 3 in the fifth on a 2-run triple by Ubiashi. And that had made the scoreline 9-6. But then the Swallows added 3 more runs of their own in the seventh. That made it 12-6. And a consolation point for the Dragons in the ninth made it 12-7 for your final. Just a quick look around the NPB tonight. All the other games were finals. They were earlier on. And it was a 4-1 victory for the Buffaloes over the Chibalote Marines. The Hanshin Tigers knocked off the Setubasi Blue Lions 2-1. It was the Yokohama DNA Bay Stars with a 6-1 victory over the Hiroshima Carp. And it is a 2-2 final between the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Murray Giants. Those are your finals from around the NPB. And that is what we have for you here. All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate you for listening in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We will put up our schedule tomorrow. I'll have to do a double take on which games we're going to do. Are we going to do the Swallows and the Dragons again, or will we maybe do the Hawks and the Giants? I'm not sure, but we'll post it up. We'll let you know sometime probably later in the day, and we'll go from there. All right, everybody. Once again, have a great night. We will see you again tomorrow. It'll either be a 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern start if we do these same 2 teams, or if we jump on a little bit earlier, we'll make the adjustment there. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you soon.